right now. So yeah, we're already live right now.
Fuck, motherfucker, you're an asshole. Fine, dude. I'll just hold it. Whatever.
What's
Looking back,
going on,
dude.
man?
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again. Episode 133. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
I don't
Yep,
remember. Okay,
133.
133.
Yes.
I'm your host, Anthony Traffany, and as always, I got a couple of resident homies with me. I got Casey Howard and Joel Horner with me. What up, y'all?
Hello.
Yep.
Tonight we're joined by Charles Elliott of Abysmal Dawn. What's going on, Charles?
What's up, man? Yo, first and foremost, thanks for fucking spelling my last name right. You don't know how fucking hard that is for people. I don't know why.
Is
Really?
it 2 T's?
Yeah, the 2 T's thing. Like,
okay.
there's a fucking Charles Elliott out there with fucking 1 T. That's fucking
Fucking 1 T,
animal
motherfucker.
existence, just fucking hogging all the fucking glory.
Definitely
Son of
a
a bitch.
common sounding name, dude. Charles Elliott. You know,
Pretty regal sounding.
I wonder
Yeah.
how many thousands of you guys are currently living on the planet.
Living in Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Dude, thanks for hanging with us tonight, dude. For sure.
Yeah. I wanted to do this. I've been seeing you guys do this for a while. I'm like, what if they ask me? I'm from California.
Well, we had you booked. We had
Yeah.
you booked a couple
Yeah.
times, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there was one you had you were doing a tour like Origin or something, and you had to you guys had to rehearse or something. You couldn't make it or something, I think, or something like that. Did you guys do it?
Dude, I mean, I don't want to bum everyone out, but I remember like the only time I remember being booked was I think when Trevor passed away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and then we canceled after that. So,
Yeah.
That was that week, dude.
Yeah,
that
That's
was the week
crazy.
that we had to reschedule. Yep.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
still have that post up on the Instagram. Yeah, man. That
Yeah.
was a rough one, dude. Yeah.
So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
But
I,
yeah.
I don't even know. Like, even doing an episode that week, I cried like a little bitch in the beginning of that episode.
Yeah.
We were also emotionally
the
like
next week, yeah.
struck by it, dude. It was so fresh at that time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was crazy.
Yeah. So I'm happy to finally,
Yeah,
be on the show with you guys. So
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Thanks, bro.
We have history playing shows with you guys back in the day.
Yeah,
and all
man.
that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I
It's
want to
fucking-
get all into that for sure. Let's do
Knitting
it.
Factory and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
Knitting
yeah,
Factory.
that's right.
R.I.P., dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the Knitting Factory today, dude. I was like,
Is it gone?
Oh
I thought they closed it down. Yeah.
That's
There's
been
back.
for-
There's another one in LA. There's one.
Oh yeah. You
where I
know
saw
what?
the Cynic.
I haven't been to the new one yet.
Oh, you didn't go to that? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Cynic show was there actually.
I just the reason why I think about Knitting Factory so much is because we've played 2 different rooms there. We played the main room and then we played the front room.
Yeah.
And actually, honestly, playing the front room with Deeds, that I think the energy that night was a little more,
And Odious,
maximum.
right?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Odious.
I'm pretty sure I was at that show. Was it like 2006 or something like that?
Yeah.
2005.
You
Yeah,
guys opened
yeah.
it. Yeah, you guys opened it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What the fuck?
Pretty sure I was there.
I
was there.
I don't fucking remember, man. Like, because I remember seeing Deeds of Flesh in the same room. Like, I don't think we played though. I think there was another time that I was just a spectator.
Okay.
But
played-
The bloodletting that we were on, that came through the main room down there.
okay.
But
Yeah.
then there was also like a few dates off that just not it didn't have anything to do with that tour. I think it was previous of that tour.
No, I specifically remember that Abysmal Dawn, Odious, Deeds.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
That was I remember like Joe Lester was there from Intronaut, and a bunch of our like friends were there and shit from
Yeah.
LA and stuff. That's where we first met Obi from Inherent Disease.
Yeah, Joe,
I'm pretty
Joe
sure.
did Joe play in Odious Mortem for a little bit or something like that?
Kind of, right? Didn't you like jam for a little bit, Casey? Joe Lester, right? Joe Lester.
Oh,
Because he lived in Santa Cruz, I remember.
That's
And I
right.
remember- and he was trying out for Abysmal Dawn, and I think I remember him like complaining about a risk and like saying like he played like with Odious or something like that, and that was fucking a bitch too. And he's like I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Enough to hear, he was
But I
gonna
mean,
play-
what he does with Incernaut is just fucking. amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he's next level.
He's got a lot more space to fuck around too, and that you know. But the bass like shines like in that type of music, you know. But
Oh
Totally.
yeah, he takes
Yeah.
over.
yeah,
Yeah, we basically he was gonna be the first bassist of Odious, and then we like soon after like he got busy when we met Joel, and basically we thought Joel was cuter.
yeah.
And
Rightfully
it's just
so.
Yeah,
oh, we're
fuck yeah, bro.
right. And you're
He had a healthy banana
Stop this.
regimen and all that stuff, dude.
just Joel was the fit, you know. We're like, I could have a relationship with this guy musically. You know? That's how it goes, you know. Sometimes.
Yeah. I actually found out about him jamming with Odious backstage of that show. I remember that's when he told me that. He's all, I used to jam with these guys. I was like, holy shit, you jam with.
Yeah, because he went to
Fucking-
UC Santa Cruz, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the Stratosphere folks and stuff like that. Oh, thanks, Kat.
What's
Gotta roll
cool is that
brief.
like we know
Nah.
dudes like Joe, and they've been on the show. What kind of is a weird thing to me is like having a Joe on the show, and I'm not saying this because obviously Lester is an amazing musician, but for some reason our demographic, the audience of this show, there's these certain types of one-off episodes that we'll do every now and then that really are more for us as hosts because we enjoy so many different styles of music and know people from other realms besides death metal that we want to bring them into this realm and say, hey, like these are guys that we also respect, but for some reason like our audience doesn't really like click as much with those types of musicians if you look at the numbers quotation, you know. But I'm just like, yo, all you guys should be watching this Joe Lester episode, dude. Every single one of you people that know about this show should be watching and learning about this guy because he's just as important as anybody else that has been on this show, you know.
Yeah.
Totally.
Joe's
That's
sick, man.
That's my little soapbox thing about what's going on with this show.
Yeah. Joe's sick. He's got a sick name too, Joe Lester, right?
Hell yeah,
No,
dude.
one letter off.
Joe the Mo. Yeah.
God.
It's funny. I
What-
remember he lived with me for like a little bit, and it was funny that I don't know. I used to know someone in high school by Joe Lester too. They fuck with him the same way. He was in my first band I played in. This band in Human Visions. He played keyboard, so. And I think he met him too. I think he might have gone to UC Santa Cruz, and like they knew each other.
What the
somehow.
fuck,
Yeah, it was just
Two Joe Lesters.
two Joe Lesters.
dude? If I mean, man, if you're a parent, you got to think that shit through a little bit. Like, if your
Maybe
last
they-
name's Lester, let's not rhyme it with Mo. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
There should be no O in the first name. You know,
Yeah.
But he
Just
embraced
to
it.
make
It's like a boy named Sue. He like embraced it and became like one of the most badass bass players on the planet.
It's
So
like Anthony Lester. It makes that.
that'd be harder to fuck with. See, that'd be a good one.
Or Charles Lester would work too.
Charles Lester.
Charles Lester, Joel Lester.
Now I'm
kind
just
of fuck there.
picturing molesting
Lester's not
myself.
quite as- yeah.
Anyway.
That was a great way to start.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's actually get
All
into
right,
some
well-
plugs real quick, dude, since we haven't even done them yet. Oh, look,
What is
Jedi's
this?
already like, hey, dude,
Oh, yeah,
battle
dude.
it out.
I drank
coffee?
some this morning. It was great. I was talking to
You
Mike.
drank
Oh yeah,
some?
I got my box.
Mike
yeah.
said he's making like a drummer's batch. I don't know if that means more caffeine or what that means.
What? Yeah, a drummer's batch
Yeah.
sounds legit, but yeah, I'm rocking the new
Fuck
Battle
yeah,
Forge
dude.
swag
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
dude.
Dude.
Oh damn! Is there a shirt in that box? I haven't opened it yet. Fuck.
Yeah,
You
I got
open
one.
that shit.
I suspect it was.
What are
one
you
of the
talking about,
caffeine
dude?
in
You're
it.
not already drinking the coffee right now as soon as it showed up?
I'm
to your
still, it's actually I put it in my
It's past
car.
5
'cause I was
o'clock. He's a little baby bitch. He doesn't want coffee right now.
house.
I just want 8% White Claws. But no, I mean, as far as like like the coffee, like I need to get a fucking new coffee maker. So I'm just kind of like in the box feels like fresher to me right now. I'm just like before I get it, I just want it to be like sealed as fuck. And
Do you
then
guys have
Yeah.
a coffee maker? Because when I'm usually there, you don't have any.
Honestly, dude.
no, we have a French press, but no
wow.
the grinder's fucked up.
The
Yeah,
grinder's-
fuck the grind. If the grind, okay, here's
website is
me. I'm
Amazon.
gonna nerd out just a little bit on coffee. If you don't have the right grinder, don't even fuck with French press. Honestly,
Really?
if you cannot get a even coarse grind on your coffee,
Jesus.
don't do French press.
Interesting.
You're over extracting your coffee and you're burning it.
I fucking
because-
hate this.
Fuck you, dude. Just shut up and listen to me talk while I'm saying this. But really,
It's gonna give me diarrhea no matter
The smaller the little pebbles that you make, the faster it's going to extract it under the boiling water that you put in the French press. So you want a coarse grind, and you need a real grinder that can give you a true coarse grind, because they'll give you, it's so crazy because it's like chemistry basically, where if you grind your beans and they're uneven sizes, they will extract at different times. You're not going to get the same cup of coffee. You're going to get burnt little pieces, as well as the unfully extracted pieces that are in this various sized form of grind that you make. If you get a good grinder, you can coarse grind it and throw that shit in the French press, and you'll have an actually good cup of coffee. Anybody who's out there that's using the fucking spice grinders and then throwing it in your French press and then being like, I'm a fucking coffee person. No, you're not. You're fucking ruining your coffee. Shut up and get back to square one. I love coffee.
Wow, that
was a message from Anthony Trapani
like-
about coffee.
like I'm
That's
in
very
trouble
passionate.
right
I
now.
didn't realize it's coffee Nazi
Right.
over here.
I'm just saying,
Jeez.
I'm actually pretty
My goodness.
emotional about my coffee.
I know, I
That
can
if you
tell.
have never seen before.
Oh wait, hold on.
For all-
Actually,
for all your-
now I'm interested. Are you talking about like
All right, dude,
espresso
let me calm
grind?
down, dude. I got to take 4 breaths.
It's like when Beavis goes all crazy about something. It's like,
I'm like almost ready to fight somebody over their coffee right now. If somebody did that, what I just said to not do, I probably would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Just let people do their own thing, man.
dude.
Let people fuck up their coffee. It's all good.
Let people
man.
fuck-
Let
I guess
them drink
in
their own
reality,
milk.
no, you're actually totally right, because there's also the philosophy of a bad cup of coffee is better than no cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You get your caffeine no matter what. It's just not going to taste as good.
BattleForceCoffee.com.
BattleForceCoffee.com. Why don't you clip that one out and put it out on the internet for a fucking commercial? All right. Now with us, dude, CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. Oh,
Oops, sorry.
that's all good.
And cynic.
We're gonna
We're gonna get to that in a second.
we are, yeah. Definitely I'm excited to plug that one for sure, dude. Buy a shirt from us if at that place if you want to support the show. Got a couple different designs. CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. Boom. There's the 2 designs right there. If you're watching this, worked with Triple Sace Designs on that full color design that you're seeing. So really sick dudes over there. Love you guys, and thank you for that sick design. Now let's do that plug right there. Boom.
Which one?
Cynic Atheist.
Cynic.
Skip ads. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Where's the
50
All
seconds.
right. So we're gonna plug this whole tour just for them because they're friends and we're super stoked to be at these shows. But we're gonna plug this date specifically because it's very special to us. If you're watching this, the opener of the San Diego June 14th, 2023 Cynic and Atheist tour at Brick by Brick. The opener is our longtime brother, original guitar player of Odious Mortem. His new, or not new, he's been doing this forever, but his alias Warbreaker, where he cuts up weird fucking jungle records and drum and bass shit, does all this kind of weird ambient shit. Like I shouldn't even be explaining what it is because I have no idea what he has planned for this specific
It's gonna
show.
be super experimental, crazy dark, rad shit.
Yeah, and that's
Skin, our friend from Odious Mortem, and Warbreaker.
I fully trust David with what he's going to do with this show, and I think it's going to be breath of fresh air for what people would be going. People who are going to see Cynic and Atheist, and then have an opener like Warbreaker. I think that my personal opinion, I would be very excited for something like that to happen.
Well, Paul wanted him to do that, and so that was
Right.
kind of all transpired, and he was kind of unsure. He's like, "No, I don't know."
Yeah, he wasn't really. He was like, I don't know if they're gonna be into it.
He like wouldn't take no for an answer. So like he was just like, "No, I want you to do this," and so it's going to be crazy. And David's putting together a special set for it. It's going to be super crazy and like dark and noisy and fucking experimental and rad, and then also going to have that kind of drum and bass element. There's some of that stuff in Cynic actually, like kind of on the newer stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So, anyways, it was just kind of a cool idea. They just wanted something different, and it's going to be rad. So I'm excited for it.
So if you're in SoCal area, June 14th, get out to Brick by Brick.
We'll all be there, man.
I'm gonna really, really try and make it to the Santa Cruz date. That's a Sunday.
Yeah, please do, because I know it's a Father's Day too. But the thing is,
oh, that's Father's Day.
Yeah, I know. I kind of,
dude.
I have a lot of responsibility for the show, because I kind of pressured Joel Hasten to book it, and it was expensive for what he's used to paying, and he's worried that like it might be too. He's used to like more newer bands and stuff is what he's used to booking and stuff, and he's kind of like money wise a little like, fuck, this is like a little. He doesn't make any money off the booking. He does it for the love of the game, pretty much. So I don't want him to lose any money. So I'm plug-in Santa Cruz. It's on Father's Day.
Booked, you're saying?
Maybe.
So I don't want to. That'll fuck up like metal shows coming to Santa Cruz if that happens.
All right, let's not keep a negative attitude. And really, that's Productions has nothing to do with us, so we really shouldn't be talking about any of that.
And they tend to get pretty wild. I mean, hopefully it'll sell.
Nah, I think that's Cynic and Atheist for
the only Bay Area show. Only Father's Day, Santa Cruz.
Pretty big, I think.
Yeah, they're huge in the Bay Area. Like, so that'd be awesome to bring everyone out.
Father's Day. God damn it!
It's at nighttime, dude.
Anthony's got like 7.
At nighttime. Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I'll leave early enough to get down there still.
Yeah.
All right,
just do it.
I'm gonna have a family meeting this weekend.
Cool.
All right.
Sweet, dude.
Is that all of the shit? Oh, and Catch the Professor out there. Do we have a flyer for anything?
For sure. The professor's
Where's he tonight?
He's I don't know.
Manchester, New Hampshire. Tomorrow he's in Worcester and Ralph's Diner.
Yeah, don't ever say that shit wrong in that town.
Worcester. Rooster. Yeah. I know. I would go there and be like, "Oh, this is really nice Worcester here."
Oh my
People
God.
get like all pissed.
I said that on stage before. People are so fucking mad. But then every band after us said the same shit. Like, they all said it wrong.
They
like,
just give up.
Yeah.
Or this around the same time. I don't know. Or like, I remember Vital Remains, Origin, and Hate Eternal. I think we played there, and I think, yeah, they were like, yeah, 6 sets, but it's Worcester. You know, everyone's all pissed. Or maybe we're pissed. Everyone just sounds pissed in that area. So
no, they just want they want to find a reason to get pissed on the East Coast usually.
Yeah.
It's obviously not Worcester, dude. I can read, and you guys came up with a little pronunciation to make it yours.
I can see how it's
and
spelled.
now I'm an asshole.
You're like at a spelling bee, and you're like, okay, now spell Worcester. And you're like, well,
WORCHESTER. But yeah, anyways, fuck yeah. Charles, do you have anything to plug? What's do you have stuff where people can buy merch and buy? Boom.
Fuck. Stream close up.
Now.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we have websites and such. I'm sure if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can find us on Facebook, and we have links to these things online.
Nice.
I don't know. What do you want from me, man?
I mean, really,
no, that's good. You nailed it.
It's funny because
I'm a traveling t-shirt salesman. I don't do this like on fucking online,
traveling t-shirt salesman that just happens to play music.
Yeah, every time I just fucking play music, but basically I go town to town.
I've never heard it like that.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it.
Salesman, dude, it's so fucking
because I don't sell music. People don't want that shit. They just want my fucking my wares. So
All right.
Yeah, no, you're basically playing music to sell the shirts.
You're
you know?
going up on stage to show them, like, here's the reason why I want you to buy my
Buy
shirt.
the shirt. Yeah, you do a little dance on stage. You're like, my shirt's over there. Do some magic
Exactly.
tricks and be like, shirt's over there.
Sometimes I keep dancing at the merch booth.
Yeah.
A little extra.
You just like play
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
merch booth. The band should just might as well just
Might as
Just
well.
play at the
Just
merch
say-
like use it as the stage.
Yeah, yeah.
totally just set up the merch booth like in the front of the stage or vice versa.
And just, in between lines, the vocalist is the one doing orders and shit.
Just turn it into like an auction. Like, we got $20 here, $20. I got 21. 20. But no, that's definitely the perfect. Are you still? So you do. We'll get into let's get into the story because I'm just gonna cut ahead and jump ahead.
Yeah,
much, so.
you like to do that.
I get excited.
It's all
Yeah,
good. No, I'm just saying it as a joke. There it was.
I just flash back to that every time.
Every 30 minutes we're gonna see that face.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Uh,
All right, yeah, Charles. I mean, you've watched the show, dude. You know how we like to do it. We like to go back in time. Take us back as far as you can, dude.
Oh, fuck.
Go in that memory bank. The like key memories we're looking for is being young, listening to what your parents were listening to, or just a time where something grabbed your attention naturally, organically, listening to it, or if it's just art first.
You mean like when we started with metal and all that? And
No. That's too far ahead. 'Cause I
Music?
know you weren't just
talking
jumping.
about like
It's
nursery.
very
rhyme.
rare, like. I think of, like when I was
fucking
6,
popped
and I'm
out of
in
my
the
mom's
car with my
pussy, and
mom.
I was just fucking listening. I was just doing the fucking Frank Mullen.
Remember what?
You know?
That's how you got out. You're just
Yeah, I
all
was like, fuck. Wow. And it was super brutal,
We have come across a couple dudes that were exposed very young, but that's not a common thing.
Yeah, no. Fuck. I mean, like, I guess I don't know.
Don't be this is another thing too. Don't be discouraged about talking about what you liked as a kid either, because believe me, dude, my list would be just as embarrassing.
I think when I was a like really small child, like I think I the way I got into music was probably like classical music and like film soundtracks and like shit like Star Wars and Indiana Jones and stuff like that, like John Williams stuff.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like those big epic soundtracks. I remember being a fucking kid and playing with my toys and like having fucking soundtrack when I was doing it. And I don't know. I think I was like a little kid. I watched like Back to the Future or something, and like Marty McFly is fucking jamming up there on playing Johnny Be Good, and I think that made me want to play guitar as a little kid, and I didn't do that until like a lot later in life, I guess. Or I saw that like when I was a little kid, and I think I started playing guitar when I was like 12 or something.
So, but before 12, I want to know, like, what were your parents listening to? What were their what kind of stuff were
my
they playing that you attached yourself to?
My dad listened to a lot of classical music around me. So I don't know. I always thought that was kind of like more like where I got metal like influence from. I was like brooding, instrumentations and stuff like that. I think a lot of I don't know. Yeah, metal is or classical music's pretty fucking metal. Like
for sure, dude.
A lot of the melodies and stuff, a lot of darker stuff than.
There's no doubt in my mind that connecting with classical music at a young age opens up many doors to eventually get to metal if you discover it along the way, and you'll already have the software to understand what, or at least on a basic level, understand what's going on with metal. I was trying to explain that to a coworker today because I was listening to Tigran Hama. I still can't say his last name. Hamaslaline. Sorry, but the album that he had done, Mock Root, is something that's a very, very powerful album to me. And I was trying to explain to a coworker that he was influenced by metal, with that record, and to try and show somebody metal aesthetic through non-metal instruments. I mean, you have a drummer and a bass player, but piano being the main thing instead of guitar, I actually think that's way more translatable to the like average person is to translate metal through Tigran, you know?
So going backwards instead of going classical to metal, going metal to classical.
Or playing like metal, having a metal aesthetic through classical jazz playing on piano will probably better the chances of whatever wiring that we get connected when we understand metal and fall in love with it. Maybe Tigran is a way to bridge more people to metal that they probably
be.
would have never, found that pathway.
I mean, kind of like what Charles said too. Kerry Gear shared me his symphonic. It's just movie soundtracks and stuff like that, and his favorite composers. I listen to that shit when I'm working all the time. That's like, I kind of like got into that game late, but listening to like, I forget some of their names, but listen to their soundtracks and stuff, and like how like powerful soundtracks are. Like I always think about a heavy part in a movie, and I'm watching like a really sad or really dark or really happy, and I always think about like, what if they changed the music here? Like people would be like, what the fuck is going on? Like
you ever had like a music lineup to something in your life, or either whether literally or ironically?
Yep,
and, shit like that. But
like if it was like a super
Your
epic
enthusiasm
scene.
moments, dude.
Yeah, if the Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, so I was about to say, like, if like a super gnarly scene, like most dark movie ever, and they're just playing like clown music, like, burp, burp, burp. Everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? Like
it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm
episode. Yeah, I'm sure people in the editing room definitely play with that when they're going crazy at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, I would love to do
the
that.
same fucking shit. You just all of a sudden look at your guy next to you and be like, dude, check out what I did right now.
It's like a Krusty the
Clown. Somebody's getting like stabbed in the stomach,
And he's a slow bummer, and it goes to the credits, the Curb Your Enthusiasm credits at the end.
I love that meme. All right, let's get back onto you, Charles.
Yeah, were you so you were into classical first? Did you just jump on the guitar? Were you playing piano? Did you do anything besides guitar?
I took piano lessons for a little bit. I fucking hated it. I think my parents asked me like, what if I want to play guitar, or actually I told them I wanted to play guitar when I was a little kid, and then they were kind of like, well, you should have a foundation somewhere, so before you do guitar, how about you do like piano, like your grandfather has a piano and you can go over and practice at his house sometimes, and I don't know, I fucking hated it. I don't want to fucking learn Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Right.
I was a fucking moody little kid. I fucking sat at the piano. You know what I mean? Like I just sat on the piano, like playing like the most fucking dark shit I could do, like hunting out melodies and stuff. Fuck, like
yeah.
So yeah, I hated that shit, I guess. And then later on,
so how long was the piano run? Did you even make it a year, 2 years?
I don't know. I know it was a while. It was a while that I took piano lessons, and then I think they kind of just realized I had no fucking interest in it. Like I loved music, but I just had no interest in piano, and I didn't want to sit down. I would like sight reading, fucking like I said, just shitty songs. Like,
do you think that piano though? Do you think learning that piano though early on, even though it was kind of like against your will of what you wanted to do, do you think that's helped you later in like writing?
I mean, it probably helped me in some sense,
understanding things a little bit better.
Yeah. Like I picked up a little like notation and sight reading type things, and like I suck at sight reading, but I have a basic understanding of it. If I can go slow and pick apart a piece of music and learn it like that.
I have an idea, real quick. I think that like piano is one of those like cerebral kind of, it's like math. Like I kind of explain it like people that are really good at math or kind of like take to piano like kind of thing, and they look at music like that. Like it's almost like as a general thing, instead of that being like the first instrument introduced, maybe it should be like a little later, kind of like with guitar, like a string instrument, like 7 or 8 or something like that kind of thing. Like, hey, there's this other thing that you have to like read a bunch, like, and like maybe you should just start off with like drums. Like everyone should just play drums or like sing.
Oh yeah,
like because drums work great with like fucking like young kids and stuff, dude. They're just like, even it's like funny. It's like who cares? It's like it's good.
It becomes like a more like like
It's an activity.
well,
And
not
it's like-
only that, but I think that like it opens up more like more potential for more people to be able to get in and play music, because you don't really need to know what the like hitting a snare. It's like I don't care what note that is. I'm just hitting something, you know.
Well,
I'm causing. I'm making a rhythm underneath everything else. But I think that like hitting things is more
Yeah, for a kid.
translatable
yeah.
for
That sounds way more fun.
humans in general. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wish I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know if this makes any sense to you guys, but I learned music more from a melodic sense than a rhythmic sense early on, and I had to build my rhythmic understanding and abilities later in life, more like drilling those like patterns and shit like that like into me, because I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, well, not the other day. I think fucking like when we start after we did a record, I was just like, we're so fucking concerned about being on the grid and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then the album was done, and like, I was proud of it and everything. But I like went to like a classical concert at the Hollywood Bowl, and just like listening to them, and I was like, the fucking timing sucks. It was like it's floated all over the place. And I'm like, what the fuck? But you're like, these are world-class musicians. It's like, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like having, but it's just these different, I don't know, like
I don't know. I think
machine aspect to it, I
classical
guess.
can breathe, that's
I like
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
Casey's saying is like there is, if we're talking about a grid, there is points on the grid, but there's also space between those points that have room to play in, to breathe, and kind of like work
kind of like
around.
Lars Metallica.
Yeah.
It just does that.
Nah, I don't know about that.
No, but
Hey,
like say the end of like for whom the bell tolls, it's like it's like it's very like like it's like it's cool though. It's sick how it is. Like it should be like that, but it's like it's like it there's late parts and there's hit dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I think what Anthony was kind of getting at, but when you're in the recording studio and you can see the wavelengths and to the grid, that's when like you're like, well, we're off. You can like see that you're off, and then like visually see it. But that's probably not.
But what I was trying to extend that with was that is not only acceptable to a certain extent, but it's actually purposeful and like to take it back to Joe Lester. I couldn't explain it at all right now in this moment, but I remember there was a part of that episode where he was explaining the timing of a Secret Chiefs 3 song that he was learning, and he clapped out the time of it, and the notes were falling either before or after the actual hit, but just right before or just right after, to where it still is on the grid, but it's purposefully set right behind it or right before it.
Right.
It's human.
Because if we're talking about like infinity, there's an infinite amount of space in between 2 points on those grid that we're talking about, and to see people move into those, more darker areas between the grids and still make it purposeful.
Some music sounds better like swinging a little bit, there's some even death metal, like some bands sound a little bit better sloppy, or like swinging a little bit, not totally on the grid.
There's a natural groove that we feel when we're listening to music, that at times when I'm still listening to music today, a snare will drop, like a Sean Reinert snare will drop just milliseconds after I feel it should, because I'm on a grid.
Tastier though.
And it is so much more tastier. Exactly.
Yeah.
You fucking right. Yeah. You got it, dude. It's so much more tastier for me to be listening to it and try and expect when things are going to happen, but then something else happens and it's still within the boundaries.
That makes your fucking ear go off of like, oh shit, like this is humans playing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's
so-
also people who will play to a click and will play late on purpose, like or like lay it back on it or like be,
Yeah,
it's like
on
weird. You can
purpose.
do all of
being
it or not
purposeful
play to a
with
click.
that
But I'm just saying, yeah, like that's an interesting. That kind of tripped me out too. Like when I kind of learned, I was like, oh, there's drummers that like play to a click differently. Like there's different ways of approaching.
yeah,
a
you can
click.
it's just like a guide.
Exactly.
Too, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
jam
have to
over it
actually-
still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want like Cephalic Carnage to play to a click. You know, you wouldn't want certain bands
No.
like
Yeah.
to play to a. That would be weird. It would just sound like, what are you guys doing? This is weird. You know, it doesn't
It's
sound
a
like.
tool. If it works
Yeah.
for you, if it doesn't, just a tool.
I was
Yeah.
just listening to Exit 13 recently, and there was a part in one song where the speed of the drummer totally speeds up very, very noticeably, and then he slows himself back down. And I was just like, I don't know how purposeful that was, but it's still, that's another thing too, is like the organic feel of certain things. But my point was the guy who purposefully drops it a millisecond before the point on the grid or after purposely and does it like that's, I think that's harder than dropping it on the point on the grid, dude.
I almost think it's easier.
You think
Just
it's
'cause if you're
easier?
fe- if you're feeling it, they're feeling. I don't think they're worried about the grid at all. They're just
I
like
mean, it
in the
depends
vibe.
if they feel the same thing every single time, maybe. But,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. If you're calling out 0.37 on the grid though, and you're like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
drop
like-
it. I'm gonna
Oh,
drop it
yeah.
at 36 and
If you can do that every
0.5.
time, then that's harder. That's
Crazy
harder.
as shit.
Right.
is the, like, the
And that's like a
minimalist-
Sean Reiner type dude.
The crazy shit is the phasing stuff, like the Steve Reich minimalism stuff, where they would like phase one rhythm at a time with another, then it goes and
Yeah,
like,
And like slowly catches up.
they would do that shit live.
Kenny Gorowski from
crazy
Imperial Triumphant, dude. He has this blast beat that he does on this. Now I'm gonna Atomic Bomb off of Alphaville, and there's the part in that song where everything stays the same limb wise except for his snare. So he's doing just a real fast, like the trucker beat style, but his snare speeds up and slows down during the whole thing while everything is staying the
That's
same.
cool.
And I thought it was fucking, it still to this day blows my mind. And then I even remember the professor telling me it's called an accelerando. I was like, that's fucking cool name to like
Accelerando.
speed up this, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
staying with it. He's taking himself out of the timing and back within the timing of the rest of his limbs on one limb.
Love that shit.
Blows my mind, dude.
Dude, old Napalm Death or fucking Brutal Truth. That
Oh,
shit
yeah,
is
yeah.
all over the place.
Totally.
But it's great though.
Do you know what the
Yeah.
opposite of accelerando is?
What's the
Well,
opposite?
I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know. It sounds
like you can say it in this context.
I
though. It's
can't say
okay.
it in these
Go,
days.
go ahead. How many
Or
viewers you got? Let's
A
go for it.
retardando.
Oh, yeah. Retardando. That means
Not-
retard means to slow down. So I mean, that's like to slow it down is what it means.
It's
That's
literally
like
what it
Yeah, I
means.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like the
saying. What are you
definition.
talking about? What
No,
are you
I've
referring to?
no, I've seen there's a
Explain
you
to the
know-
guy in the banana shirt. I don't think he gets it for some reason. I don't know. I'm the words escaping me. I don't know why. But
Anthony brought it up. It's his fault.
I didn't fucking bring up shit. I brought
No,
up
I've seen that.
Accelerando, and then that was the furthest of my knowledge. And then you're like, I got
You
more
just made everything all
levels
awkward.
of your knowledge.
No, they use the shorter version when I've seen sheet music. You know, I've seen they use the ondo at the end.
Oh,
I've
it's
seen
just
that
the
like
grit.
on sheet.
RIT
That's-
dot.
Oh yeah, that's even more. Yeah. That's probably the better way to do it.
It's
Or
really
just
sucks.
slow.
It
Jesus,
it-
slow down.
I was gonna say it
You don't
really
have to
sucks
use
for a guy
all these
named-
ondo. That fucking
is that a word?
That really
fettuccino,
sucks
my
for-
fettuccino.
a guy named Ondo. Just a guy named Ondo. Retardondo?
We have regressed into the sewers of.
all right, we can move on. It's cool.
Why don't we call ourselves-
Hey,
so-
I didn't take it here. I said
Truthful
Accelerando. That is
career.
not an offensive
Accelerando.
term at all. I that was
That's
only one
Accelerando.
half of it. I didn't know.
They use it
anything
in
about the other
music, so
side.
we're not. Yeah,
Yeah, it's totally cool.
just
Podcast
yeah, yeah.
or brain cells right
And
now.
they use it in chemistry too. Guys. Come on, science. Come on, it's all right.
All right. Okay, so Charles, you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I was a kid. Yeah.
Oh,
You were a kid once?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
a kid
that's-
once, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
I just popped out of the womb, brutal as fuck. Just
Oh, yeah.
long hair, just fucking. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's how it was.
So you played. So when did you pick up? So you played piano for a while. So you said for a couple of years or something. Then did you just naturally go to guitar, or did you go to drum?
I think I wanted to like. Well, I think I
Still
started.
thinking about Michael J. Fox, dude. The whole
Michael J.
time.
Fox? What, this? Because I did
No,
this? Is
no,
that
because
why?
you said you were
You
watching
fucking-
Back to the Future and you were
Oh,
watching him play
oh my
guitar.
God. That's only for our viewers only. Let's see that joke.
So anyway,
God damn it.
I don't know, man. Like, I think at some point I found like grunge music. I think that was my gateway into like
Yeah.
rock and metal.
Mhm.
So and I wanted to sing or start a band. I had a friend that played guitar, and we were gonna try and start a band. And I was just singing at first, and then he sold me one of his guitars when he got a new one, and that was it. That was, just
What was
playing guitar.
what was your grunge bands of choice?
Fucking. Well, I think, dude, like the first CD I ever bought was probably Pearl Jam 10, and the second one was
Nice.
like Nirvana and Utero.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, so started off with like those, and then like Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots, and I don't know. I mean, grunge is kind of a broad term, right? I guess. I
Right,
don't know.
yeah.
Like some of those things are like Alice in Chains is pretty fucking metal, and
That
I don't
The
know.
best-
early to mid 90s.
Yeah,
You just the
Just the-
sound that was happening at that time.
basically,
Yeah.
and then
The vocals. I think the vocals only with Alice in Chains would be considered grunge because they're like fucking heavy as fuck, right? They're
They
not
did
like
it all.
heavy.
yeah. They
Like if they had only done Facelift and Dirt, like you'd be like they're like metal kind of, but it's like they did,
Well,
Jar-
from Seattle and yeah.
you kind of had that like borderline Axl Rose vibe when they started. I don't think.
Oh, that
dude,
is true.
if you listen to that fucking the box set, I think there was even an interview I remember watching with them. But like their early demos, they're kind of like a Guns N' Roses ripoff.
Oh, dude, they were like glam shit.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
eight-
And
were
then they
old.
evolved
They-
and got heavier, and
Yeah,
Lane had more of his own style and all those sick harmonies and stuff. But
Yeah.
I could see the. I never even thought of that. The Axl Rose and Lane Staley.
dude, there's
like,
pictures of interviews with Lane with like teased hair and shit, dude.
yeah,
well, it's parts like this, like even his vocals. There's parts that are there's a little Axl in there. There's like some parts that like I would say there's a little kind of like a grimy Axl like tone in there. I never even thought of that.
yeah, I think there's a little inspiration,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked all those bands. I still do, to be honest.
Me too. Yeah.
So
And
the
then-
homie sold you a guitar. That's what.
Yeah,
That's how
and then
you
I
got it?
started playing guitar, and we were trying to get a band together, and I just gradually got into metal, I guess, from like grunge into like Metallica,
Mhm.
and then from there, I don't know, I started getting into like sort of the, I guess, more gateway death metal bands where it was like Fear Factory, Machine
yeah.
Head.
So how are you accessing? How are you coming across that stuff and talk about like the friend group? Did you have other like-minded people at that time?
I
around
mean,
you?
I was kind of like the metal head trendsetter of the group, to be honest, because I was the one seeking out all the bands and
Mhm.
showing all my friends. or
What year
whatever.
is this, by the way?
Probably like 95, 94, something
Okay.
like that.
So talk a little bit about like, how are you seeking it out? Was it record stores, tape trading, magazines? What was
Did
it?
we ask how old you are, Charles? I'm just curious compared to us.
I'm 40.
62.
Oh, I'm 40.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I'm 40 also, not 42. Like that,
Yeah.
No, Charles looks young, but I know that he's older than me, so I knew that you were like. I kind of feel like you're younger than me, but
He's right
you.
there with us though.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
38
yeah.
this year.
I'm 39 in fucking a month.
Oh
I
wait,
mean,
we're turning.
I'm gonna be
we're
41
turning
at the end of this
9?
month.
Me and you are
Yeah.
like a few months apart, so I know that you.
Yes.
Damn,
Dan
dude,
Kenny just turned 38.
I'm
Yeah, I
already
was like-
38. I
Yeah.
I never remember my age, dude.
He's like, let me
I
check.
thought I was 37 still, dude. Right now, I thought I was turning 38 this year.
Fucking wish. How does it feel? So Charles, just I know it's a little sidestep, but hitting that 40, is that a weird time? Was that I mean, also Casey's hit it too. I've never. I mean, I always think about you're looking down the barrel of 40, but I've never actually. Same with 30. I was like, dude, 30 years old. Like, fuck, dude, what the fuck is going on? But
Yeah.
then
Now 30, I was
40.
kind of stoked on.
But 40 though, I was watching a video the other day. It showed a high school class from 1983 or 1984, and they all looked 38. Like they all looked old as fuck. And I was like, what the fuck? Are we like, because now I see high school kids walking around, I'm like, those are children. Those are like literally like preschool, not preschool, but like grade schoolers. They look like, I can't tell if they're grade school or high school. And like this video that just like someone posted that showed like kids in the 80s, they look like old men and old women. I was like,
that's not even just like kids in the 80s. Like, you look at like old, like, I don't know, like historic photos or something. You look at like old West photos, and there's like, he's like an old man of 18 or something. Like, he like
he's only got 15 more years to live.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's weird how like you look at older photos and everyone looks way older.
It might be a little just like perception, dude, because like Joel and Casey, they always look young to me. When I see pictures of Casey or I'm even on the show, like right now, they look young to me and I feel young. So is it like us just wanting, we so badly just are connected to our early 20s that we just always kind of feel, especially since we're friends since then, that's going to kind of like keep that.
I think people just worked harder back then, and they just got more.
Maybe
they just got more like, they got like
less
worked like 12-hour days.
Less regulations for fucking food and air quality. I don't know. Fuck.
Well, they were all taking
hormones
tonics, or go back even further. They were taking tonics and elixirs that were just like cocaine, morphine, and fucking heroin concoctions. So, I mean, that might age you a little bit.
I do feel like there's something.
Or relax, you just take the fucking edge off, man. Just a little bit. Get that.
I got a heroin soda, dude. What's wrong with that?
Heroin. That probably. I was gonna laugh at that, but I actually think that might have been a thing. Probably.
Yeah, it wasn't abolished yet. Yeah, people just doing heroin, but yeah. Stuff.
Weed.
Yeah, being 40 is not that different than being 39, but it's, I don't know. What do you think, Charles? I think it's
no. You were talking.
More like you're like, oh, I really do need to go to the doctor. I gotta like
get your prostate checked.
Yeah, get your finger.
Put that banana up there and check it out. Make sure everything's okay.
Casey's got a bunch
little rectal banana.
No, man. Like, you know what? Like, 40 wasn't that big of a deal. I think turning 30 was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Third is like,
because I think, like when you're a fucking high schooler or something, especially like since society's fucking sold this eternal youth idea to you, or like what's so important, I guess, like this certain time frame in your life. It was really hard to see my life past 30. I think when I was younger, and then when you get past it, you're like, oh, whatever, fucking. But years fucking fly by a lot quicker these days. That's for sure.
Oh no,
that's one of those dad things that they always told you, like,
oh
it starts flying by, and you're like, shut up, dad. And then like before you know it, just like I was talked about it probably 20 times on the podcast, but with the pie chart, like if the pie stays the same size and like you're 4 years old, it's 4 slices, but they start getting smaller and smaller, but the pie is still the same size. So like all of a sudden, like you have 40 slices on there. It's like a tiny little fraction of the circle now. And they just fly by like 3 months, and it's like, oh, you're 41, 42, 43. It just like starts flying by. Like I see fucking Facebook memories, man. Jesus Christ. Like I see that and I was like, that was 7 years ago. That felt like it was like a year and a half ago. Like,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That gets me every time.
Like we're coming up on, like, literally, we were talking about playing, shows with you back in 2000. We're coming up on almost 20 years of this. Is like 20 years ago. Like that's like. It's like in the 80s, like the 60s,
My band just had our 20th anniversary. We just played our 20th anniversary show, and like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I'm the only one that's been in the band that long, but like a lot of the other guys have been in the band for a good amount of time now, and playing or having the band for that long, it's kind of crazy.
Isn't that funny? You think about like people that are like in bands and they're like they join later, like it's like Jason Newsted or something. It's like, oh, he's only in the band for like 19 years, dude. Like he's fucking new.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're like people. It's like, oh, he's a newer guy. He's only been in for 15 years. Dude.
Well, he was in the band longer than Cliff Burton, right? So
yeah, exactly.
It's like,
like
George was saying, George Colias was like, yeah, like I'm coming up on whatever 20 years, whatever it was in Nile. And I was like, I remember when he like joined, like, and it was like, oh, he's the new dude, like, or when like Annihilation of the Wicked was like the new album or something.
Yeah,
like, dude, 15, 20 years ago. Like,
I remember them like looking for a drummer.
Yeah,
like Niall looking for a drummer.
Jesus, my quick little 2 cents on that is I think that we're just getting our pile of distractions is just getting bigger and bigger, and we're being distracted from the present. That's my little Ram Dass shit. We're being distracted from the present. So you don't really notice time flying by because you're too busy being distracted. And then
you're like, why is time flying, dude? It's weird.
And then you go, I know. And then you go back to the time, and you're like, oh shit! The last time I looked at the time, it was 3 hours ago. And
how many times?
By very fast because.
How many times have you been to Disneyland since we did those shows, Anthony?
What shows?
With Charles, dude.
What's that?
6.
What year was that? That was
2006.
2006. Okay,
I've almost been 20 at least once a year since then. Before the pandemic, yeah, for sure.
So you've probably been like 20 something times.
Yeah. Oh, we're Disneyland was a pre-pod conversation, wasn't it? And now
it's no, just being random. Sorry.
I was just like, I don't know. I was just in the middle of thought, and Casey brought up Disneyland. I was like, wait,
dude, I love the metal horn, dude.
I do love the metal horn. If you want to break your back.
Fucking right. So, what guitar did you first get? What brand was it?
Oh my god. Yeah, so I had a Mexican Strat that my friend like sold secondhand to me, and yeah, I started playing like that, and I don't know,
single coil
pickups. Not a very metal guitar. It was a nice guitar, like for what it was. I wish I still had it, but yeah, I don't know. I tried playing around with answering some fucking recycler ads or whatever, and stuff like that at the time, and playing with some kids in Long Beach or something when I was a kid, and that didn't work out. And then I knew of this local band called Dying Breed. They were from my hometown basically, and there was another band that they used to play with all the time called Inhuman Visions, and they were a little bit older than me, and they were looking for a guitar player. And since I was friendly with the Dying Breed guys, they put me in touch with the Inhuman Visions guys, and then that was my first band that I was in. And
so it's crazy, like thinking about like how like bands back then, like knowing bands, like you could possibly like jam with it's like how jaded we are today now, like after all the people we've met and all the bands we've met. But back then, like, oh, dude, this band wants me to jam with them? This is fucking crazy, dude. This isn't like, it was such a big deal to jam with other people that were already in an established band or something. You're just like, fuck, dude, I got to bring my A game. Fucking let's go. And now it's just kind of like, oh, do I have time to do that? I don't think,
it's a lot. It's a lot easier, I think, in this day and age to find people to play with, for sure. And like the players are like a lot better too,
Yep.
Because they grew up listening to all this crazy shit and
starting with it.
Yeah, and there's access to like seeing people actually play it live too. Like when YouTube came along, I think that was a big thing for people. It's like being able to see people play the crazy shit made you more motivated.
And then find out he's 12, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But I don't know, like seeing like fucking Suffocation play live or something when you were a kid, and I don't know, just on the internet or something makes this more of an impact for you, I think.
Definitely. So I mean, so you joined those bands, and then I mean, did you have songs of your own already ready to go, or did you collaborate with those bands, or did you join in?
In Human Visions, I like became integral. How do you say the word? Integral.
Integral.
I think it's integral.
Integral. There you go.
Integral sounds better though.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I got a word right, I think, guys. I guess we'll find out soon.
I think Anthony actually
Yeah.
was right.
When the
actually,
internet.
Shit.
So I don't know. I started writing for that band, and you know, I tried to push them to like play bigger shows, and we played things like I mean, fuck, man. When I was a kid, I think I was 15, and one of the first shows I played was with Death at the Whiskey, at that Live at the Whiskey show.
Holy shit.
So there was that, and then we played with we did like a battle of bands, and we won a battle of bands to play with Emperor on their first US tour.
Battle of the Bands is what gets you serious as a band. You're like, we got something to fucking work towards, guys.
Wait,
We're
real
gonna be
quick.
competing.
Yeah,
What-
dude.
what
On
you-
the
what
Death
yours-
show,
yeah, go
talking
ahead.
about live in LA, the live album.
Yeah,
You guys
Yeah.
played that show?
yeah, we played it. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
sick.
Jesus Christ.
Hammerfall was played too. They were on the tour.
That's a cool little tidbit that I didn't know. I own that DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was there. It's funny. Yeah. I'm pretty, you can hear me screaming on that shit. That's cool.
So
Well,
how
funeral
was that
Charles.
though? Talk about that show. How, I mean, like loading in. What was like? I mean, you guys are probably freaked out, right? It's like a huge show, or
Yeah, I
freaked
mean-
out or excited or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean the Whiskey in the hindsight, I mean, it's not huge, you know, but
Totally.
Yeah.
but it's a historic venue, and
Intimate
especially
is
like during that
sometimes
time,
better.
I think like a lot of bands weren't really like death metal bands and stuff like that. They were playing the Showcase Theater and they were playing the Whiskey. Those were like the two venues you like always go through, you know.
Which one's bigger?
They were both around the same size.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. But yeah, I met Chuck briefly there. I mean, our singer went up to him and it was kind of like, hey man, you want to smoke some weed? And Chuck's like, yeah, cool, man. But like after the show, and then then we saw the merch cut from the Whiskey, and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here, and we didn't want to smoke with Chuck anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was it was a really cool show. I mean, it was inspirational for me at the time, and
Hell yeah.
being on that show. And I even remember like Hammerfall. Hammerfall was great too, man. Like I had a blast when they opened the show, and a lot of people were kind of like not happy that they were on it, but there was people enjoying it too. But yeah.
Did the camera crew, that was there, did they give you the option to like film as well? For,
Yeah,
like, money?
I still have that tape of my band in
Jesus.
high school playing that show with Death in '98. So
Damn, dude.
That's
That's
fucking
fucking. You got to post that shit online.
Yeah.
I think the old singer for that band posted it somewhere, and I think it posted it in my timeline at one point, like
What was the band called?
Inhuman Visions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, yeah.
somewhere. I don't know. We had a bunch of those Whiskey tapes, man, from back in the day, because you could purchase it. There was a camera crew there.
Right.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the Whiskey. Yeah. They give you that.
Yeah,
I love those venues
they-
that give you that option.
And they weren't. I think when they did that show, like Death wasn't planning on releasing it. It was when Chuck got sick that they had that footage and they released it.
Yeah.
As a benefit to help them through that. Same with that live in Vakken. I think it was like just like a little slip case or little, looked like a little promo wallet you used to get back in the day.
Yeah. Damn.
That DVD is pretty pro for not being something
That was the
they're
Whiskey
gonna
setup, man. They would do that every time. So
leave. Wow.
Sick.
98. You said.
98, yeah. He might have kept it on private, but I think I posted the link or something.
Okay.
At one point.
Was that is that the guitar for Inhuman Visions? That was the guitar. Was there a guitarist that you guys played with when we played with you with Deeds and stuff? The other guitar player.
Oh well, my band was kind of like from the ashes of Human Visions to a certain extent, because I mean I played in this other band called Rise for a little bit after I left Inhuman Visions, and then that didn't work out, and I was trying to resurrect Inhuman Visions, and then the last lineup we had, I talked to all those guys, and but it ended up being just the last guitar player that we had was the guitar player for Abysmal Dawn when we first started the band. So Jamie, he played in Human Visions when like right before we broke up. And Terry was just a friend of Jamie's, and like would come to Inhuman Vision shows and stuff, and he kind of knew some of the songs. We like tried him out, I think, with some of the old Inhuman Vision stuff. He played that stuff, and then and some of those songs were even like Inhuman Vision songs. I think that I initially wrote for Inhuman Visions and then reworked later.
So after Rise, it basically went to Abysmal Dawn after that, right?
Yeah, well, there was
Okay.
a brief trying to get Inhuman Visions back together, but that didn't work out, and then started Abysmal Dawn.
So talk about starting that up. So how did that get started? Would you just basically took some, you folks from other bands and stuff, and started to write songs of your own and collaborate? And
Jamie, I don't know. I mean, he, like you said, and Jamie played in Inhuman Visions, and I think he was playing with the old Inhuman Visions drummer for a little bit, and some other project that fell apart.
Mhm.
Before we started Abysmal Dawn, and then Terry, I think it was his first band, and that was the core, like the nucleus of the band when we first started. And I mean, I was looking around for like a singer. Like I didn't want to sing. I asked Dan from Crematorium if he wanted to sing for us at one point.
Okay.
And but that just never materialized. I think we played a backyard party or something, and like he just growled over some shit like randomly. Like that was like the only time he ever played with us. And then there was another, I forget what the name of the band was, man. There was some other kid I thought was a good singer, from local LA band. And I think I asked him, but I think he just kind of retired from music. And yeah, and at some point I was just like, fuck it, I can't find anyone. I can't, I had sort of like an idea of what I wanted lyrically or what I liked lyrically, and so I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna learn to sing and play guitar. And
was that hard? A hard adaptation? Like I know that if you're playing guitar, for me, I always trip out on it because you're already kind of like in your instrument, but then you have to sing. Like to doing that did you like practice that a bunch? Like for me, I even just like in the shower will pretend like I'm playing a riff or something and like try to like do the vocals, and my brain's like, it doesn't know which one like jumps between the instrument and my voice and the timing. And so how much does that take a lot of time to like nail that? Because to me that's insane. Like watching like Muhammad from Necrophagist, or like bands that are like playing riffs and singing. And I've seen videos of you back in the day because I've seen you forever and I've known you forever, that like you're doing something crazy and you're singing. Does that take like a ton of practice? Did you like, what would you tell someone that was trying to learn something or to do that, like how to do that? Like
you've done it in the Odious. There's
no,
times
but as Casey knows, I know.
Well, I'm not. If you want me to
I'd
be
push
real,
out a bunch of times. I'd like walk up
that's
and be
what I
like,
was gonna. Okay, that's the part that I was gonna leave out. But yeah, we would put a mic in front of you.
Well, that's why I asked, because there's parts where I was like going like doing like fucking
but
jumping between 7, 8, and 5 and 4, and like going like, cool, I'm gonna do it. Well, like, fuck, I don't know I can't think of it right now. Like, it's so yeah. Talk about that learning process. I've always like,
I am the worst for giving advice on like vocals or learning how to play. It's like I just was like, fucking do it. That was it. I just just like I try not to think about it and try not to psych myself
I think
out.
what Joel's trying to like ask is like, you have a riff that you're going to do vocals over. So do you associate syllables with notes? Or do you associate a certain note with when you're supposed to at least start a line, and then you just do it? The line comes out.
Well, you have to put one on like auto, right? You have to auto something like your
kind
riff.
of have to auto both of them.
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, I mean, I usually practice my guitar playing more than vocals, I guess. And then I don't know if I know the part already, it's easier. Like if I've recorded an album, most of these last fucking couple records, I don't even have lyrics done until the album's recorded. So we never actually played the songs, like me, singing and playing guitar. Until it's time to go on tour.
Right.
So I just have to get used to it, I guess. I mean,
Right. You got to
It's-
find those certain cues that you would find in the music to, associate with lines, because it's really, for me, would just be the starting and finishing, and then the autopilot is supposed to happen during that, right?
it's a lot of muscle memory too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, and I've had people comment to me a lot, I guess, about how I don't look at my guitar neck because I don't
That's
want
a
to
good
be
lesson, though. That's a good. I
thinking
mean, like,
about it.
don't look at your guitar neck. That's the first step, probably, to if you're gonna start singing and playing guitar. Is like, don't worry, just have it blindfold. Just be able to play the guitar, like the riffs,
Right.
Yeah,
and like
at
then
least
work on the vocals.
you build that muscle to be able to get to the point where you can look at the neck if you want to, but if something distracts you from looking at your guitar, you can still know exactly where you're at without looking at your guitar, right?
Yeah. Usually, unless I get really fucking disoriented on stage for some reason, you know what I mean? But
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, you do like vocals coming out of solos and going into solos, right? You do stuff like that. I remember
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
you. That's the part where I'm just like, what? Like, I don't. I get like angry. I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck
yeah.
you, dude. Like,
I mean, and it's fucking bullshit to tap dance around fucking like pedals and shit for like boosts and
that
like,
too. Yeah.
effects and stuff. So that sucks.
It's like Geddy Lee uses his nose to like move the mic, and then he like plays keyboard with his fucking foot, or plays the organ with his foot, and
I mean, to
plays
be fair,
bass and
it's a
sings.
pretty big nose, so it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a tool, dude. It's a tool.
Yeah,
That's
you know?
right, dude. He's definitely a multi-tool of a
Yeah,
musician.
He's quite a tool. Is that what you're trying to
He's a
say?
Swiss. He's a tool.
The most useful Leatherman or Swiss Army knife in the music industry. is
No,
Geddy
it's.
Lee.
I've always just I've had a lot of respect for people that can do that, because I've always like pretended to do it, and I'm just like, my brain can't separate. Maybe I'm playing too hard of music, and I
Yeah. I mean, I think I had to get used to enunciating a lot more,
Mhm.
like I would kind of just fucking, I think in those early days, I like remember just not enunciating very well while I was playing because it
your
was
brain
kind
would
of
like go to the instrument.
yeah,
and back,
kind of
go
was like
back and forth.
in the background or something, but worked on that, I guess, a lot over the years.
I remember, like, I mean, watching you guys. So I'll jump a little bit. That Deeds of Flesh of the ODS we played with Abysmal Dawn. I'd never heard of you guys, and I was like, oh, cool. We're nervous, It's like Deeds of Flesh is asking us to play the show in LA. It's like 2005, 2006, something like that. And I was like, okay, well, let's watch the opening bands. And you guys just had these like battle solos and shit. And we were just like, what the fuck? All right, I'm gonna go in the back. I'm gonna go in the back. This is the opening band. Fuck. Like, I got like, I remember immediately,
We're
I'll
probably
never forget
drinking
that.
40s and like smoking weed. Like, fuck, dude, what are we gonna do, dude?
No, to me, that's clear as day. That day was that show was clear as day. Just like, I remember, like, you can see like out the windows into the street or something. And like, it was on a different stage on Ninny Factory we were talking about.
The front stage.
And
you're talking about,
yeah. And like,
And
I
it was
remember
to the
watching you
back
guys
wall.
play, and I was like, these guys are like fucking a super pro band, and they're I thought it was like just gonna be like a local opener, like a little fun little, which it was local, it was LA, but still it was like,
Dude, you're totally taking me right back to this. I remember all of us kind of
Yeah.
like, oh shit, dude.
that's when I went in the backstage, and then Joe Lester was there, and we hung out with Joe Lester. But I remember going like,
Yeah.
these guys are giving me anxiety because they're really good, and I don't need this right now. I was hoping I wanted. Deep down in my brain, I wanted them to kind of suck, so like I could feel like, all right, well, we're gonna do fine.
I'm like pretty sure like we weren't as amazing as like you thought.
Well,
like, at
we
the
were
time.
feeling
I
it.
was fucking blown
We
away.
were
I was
feeling
like,
the vibe, dude. We were feeling the vibe because I do remember this now, dude.
and I loved battle solos.
Because
Like,
now that you said that, I'm remembering being on stage setting up and none of us talking to each other.
fucking
'cause we
it's
were-
Charles's fault, dude.
Well, that
we
makes it
were all
weird.
we
That's good.
were all kind of on that vibe of like, oh shit,
Oh, totally.
we gotta come correct, dude. No half stepping right now.
Yeah, and then we had Deeds after us. It was like, fucking Jesus, dude. Let's
Yeah, I remember
like
Deeds was
basically the
crazy.
owner of our record label, like, is that we just signed to, is going on after us. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, make sure we signed the right thing. It's like, and then
It's like playing a
fucking-
show with your boss. You're like sick, dude.
yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
But I remember it going great and stuff like that. But I just still, honestly, that show's
No, I'm
honestly one of my most memorable shows that
we're
I've
super
played. Just because
super fortunate for Deez to take us out for a couple dates, just us and them, you know. And
I don't even remember the
able-
other dates. I just remember that show. I don't know.
oh, dude, there was at least one more. It was 2 or 3 dates that we did
Was there
together.
like a San Diego one maybe or something?
I hope the
Right by-
internet has solidified it in time somewhere.
It was like pre-internet, dude. No, I'm just kidding. But
Dude,
people on AOL discs, they're like getting
the
20 hours of
internet
time
was
and going.
only 10 years old at that time.
Dude,
That's
I had
crazy to
no, that's
think.
not true. I had
2006. Well, I shouldn't say 10 years old. I'm saying like
I had internet as a kid, so that's another way I guess I discovered.
what year? What year do you remember it coming into your house?
It was probably like 94, 95 or something. It
I
was
was
pretty.
saying
Yeah, I had it back then.
96 was
Yeah, because
I
I
think-
remember like finding there was someone that did like look, they ran the like grave and entombed fan sites or something like that, and
Mhm.
I remember I transcribed some entombed stuff that I think is even on their site to this day, like
Whoa.
Damn.
with some corrections probably because I was like 12 or something whenever I did it. So but yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to you guys back then, because I know a bunch of people transcribing stuff back then. It was just on a text document, and it was
Yeah.
just fucking
That's
tab.
what it was.
you know?
Yeah. It was all before Guitar Pro or
Yeah.
what was the other one? There was another one that was like
A power
similar.
tab.
Power tab. There you go.
Power
Yeah,
Tab was
yeah.
so fun
Yeah.
to find all these
Yeah.
people that transcribed it, and then all of it was like you'd find one that was super wrong. But
I remember
you'd
like
go-
Mike Kimball. He played in Dying Fetus for a while. He had this Cannibal Corpse tab site, and it was like they were like the closest you can get. I remember in high school I found it, and it was like fucking almost dead on. And I was like,
Yeah.
fucking who the fuck is this Mike Kimball month? And then he joined Dying Fetus later. But I was like obsessed over this guy. I'm like, these sound perfect. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
you know
no-
the guys?
There's a
You
lot
know?
of those tabs that it was like looking up online and trying to find, like for death metal and thrash as a kid. So yeah.
God, praise tabs.
praise
Well,
the
yeah.
internet.
God.
If there wasn't the internet, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now.
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
You reminded me though, because like you had asked how I got into this music. Besides, like, I don't know, internet websites and like at the beginning of that, like fan sites and Metal Maniacs. To be honest, I
Mhm.
found a lot of bands through Metal Maniacs, some through
Oh,
Guitar
yeah.
World.
nice.
I remember there was this service where you could call up. It was kind of like, I don't know, like what was that fucking like Publishers Clearinghouse or whatever? You get a penny or what?
Columbia
Columbia
House.
House. All right,
Oh,
Columbia House.
Yeah.
It was something kind of similar to that, but it had like a phone aspect to it where you could call up and they would play like, 15 seconds of Fear Factory or something to you over the phone, and then you would check it out and like, yeah.
I almost remember that. It's like the Sega Channel for phone or something.
I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it sounded like shit over the phone, but I was like, oh, that's so fucking heavy. I'm gonna fucking run to fucking Tower or fucking whatever, Best Buy or whatever it was at the time.
Blockbuster Music had the little like listening stations.
Oh, yeah,
You had like a
yeah.
metal station and be like, whoa, dude, this is that
So,
was.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
dude.
great.
Speaking of
spent so
metal,
much
I
time
found
listening.
something a little special. I did some soul searching, and I found a little something here.
Ah!
This
Holy
was
shit.
a flyer for our audio listeners. Name or read this flyer, Anthony. What's going on here?
Yeah, because I had nothing to do with it. It was Suffocation. No, I'm just joking. Suffo was the headliner, Decrepit Birth, main support, Abysmal Dawn, and then Instinct of Aggression. I've never heard
Oh, that's
of that
before I
band.
was in Decrepit. Yeah. Okay,
This is
that's
at
the
the
video,
Key
the drum
Club.
video you have, right? Casey, the drum
I think
videos.
so.
Oh, okay.
I think so that show at the Key Club. We played there a few times, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This must have been that show. But this
Yeah.
is like 2006, I think, early 2006. Like,
Wow.
Yeah. I think that was
like February.
probably right when their first album was coming out. So I don't think our first record was even out yet.
Yeah.
Casey,
Your first album?
Yeah,
Wasn't
the
out
first
yet?
Invisible Dawn record. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they
I was
came
like,
out
is
in
that the
2006.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I remember. Yeah, we played. I don't know. That was like probably one of the last like one-off shows we kind of played before
Yeah.
we touring and stuff like that.
what year did you join Decrepit, Casey?
2004.
Yeah.
Damn.
What year was this
Jesus.
one? Did we just say it?
2006. I think it was February. For some reason, I
2006?
remember February 2006 was the Key Club show with
I
Suffocation.
remember being
This
so
was our
jealous.
first show with Suffocation.
Yeah, I couldn't make it. I remember being bummed that I couldn't go down there and seeing all the videos and shit that Casey brought back. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This is
Yeah.
They did all that. The video footage was kind of
Key
like
Club?
what the Pound does. Like we paid whatever it was to have them, like they did all the footage and everything and gave us like sound from the board or whatever.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
And it's cool that these.
Well, it says February at the
flyers
top.
are
It says
still
February at the top.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, I think it was February.
around.
Like I feel like it was February 19th. I just had this
Feel
like
like
weird.
it.
It feels like it was
thank
Saturday.
you for pointing that out. Yeah. I've had one too many banana daiquiris tonight.
Well, dude, even that. No, I agree with you. It's like Suffolk is like the main thing that
Pretty
your
funny.
eyes go to because it's the most bold, bright
I know,
logo.
it's all like those
biggest at the
huge
top.
letters. February 19th.
And you might look at it as like somebody presents or whatever, you know, instead of.
All
We
right.
just keep this up the whole time and just have
All
we got our face. on
No, but this is what it's all about, dude. I mean, just like we're recounting all these cool situations that you guys we've all crossed paths, you know.
That's what with
Yeah.
Charles. Like whenever I see his face, I think about like when I was like the most hungry. Yeah, that fucking beautiful face. Whenever I see that, I always think about like just back being, you know, young and like being excited and playing those shows again. You know, that actually because that Deeds show was like one of the first bigger shows that I had played, and I was like, I was like I said, I was watching you guys nervous out of my ass, and then fucking like it was a total like anxiety nightmare for me. But until we played and it was done, that was super fun. But like, there's certain people I remember in that time, you know, just when you're just like super hungry and want to do well, and you're like, you know, you always want to do well, but you're like, you have this like young hunger, you know.
What
Looking
show
up,
was that? Sorry, what show was it? Like, you remember you told me this story when I saw you at NAMM like a couple years ago, and I had to fucking remember it because I had forgotten this. But apparently, you were all wasted at the Rainbow.
Yeah,
and
I was
were
going to tell
trying
the
go-
story.
You're okay. Go ahead, tell it.
Yeah. So, okay.
I remember it more than me, but I kind of remember like after you told me, I was like, oh fuck, that did happen, huh?
No, so you and Gerardo took Decrepit out to the Rainbow, I think is what it was. We had played a whiskey or Key Club or something, and we're at, you know, I forget what tour it was, but anyways, I'm there and I see fucking Lemmy, like he was always there, you know, and this is your like stomping grounds, LA, like, you know, that Lemmy's always over there, like fucking calm the fuck down, like I get it, like he's, and I was starting to like go up to him, like I don't know, I was like yelling at him or something, all hammered, and you just grabbed me, you grabbed me and you pulled me aside, like don't do that. And you told me like, dude, I get it, it's Lemmy, like, you know, a lot of people have this reaction, just don't be that guy, is what you kind of told me. You're like and there with Gerard, like all the nuclear blast people and stuff, and you're just like, don't, I get it, but like calm the fuck down, dude.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh,
he was always there, man. He was always at the end of the bar, like doing like his fucking
video poker.
Video poker, yeah. I remember like when Scott, our old drummer, was playing in the band and he moved to LA and he wanted me to take him to the Rainbow, and he's like, all right, so where's Lemmy? And I'm like, well, he's right there. He's fucking right there. Right where he should be, like where he always is.
Every time.
So,
I think I went there 4 or 5 times and he was there every time. And he was always, you know, I only punished him once, you know. I went up to the whole, like, when I was sober. I wasn't, and the second time I was like, that's fucking Lemmy again. You're like, don't do that, dude. You're like,
so
this is.
I've had those moments too, man. I fucking met Jello Biafra and I was all wasted once, and I had to like pull back. I knew I was too drunk, and I was like, it's like, hey man, can I take pictures? And he's like, I was like, hey, do you want a shot? And Jello Biafra's like, fuck no, I don't want a shot. And I was like, dude, I'm like, sorry, I'm really drunk, I'm sorry, like, I'm just a fan. Like, if you don't want to take a picture, that's totally cool. He's like, and then my friend goes to take a picture. He's like, because he was like, oh yeah, it's cool, whatever. And then, but he couldn't do it, and it was all like he was just Jello Biafra's just standing there. He's like,
So one more.
Yeah, he's all like, oh, take the fucking picture, take the fucking picture.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just a fan. I don't need a picture. Like, I'm cool if you are. Yeah, I know I'm drunk, you know, just because
He's
I
like,
know
"You
how
got-"
that is. Like I was trying not to be a Punisher, but like
Yeah.
He's
We've
like,
all
these
had
guys are
those
definitely
moments,
too
dude.
drunk to fuck tonight.
yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Gene
Oh,
Hoglan was mine, dude. I was way too hammered to talk to him, but I still.
I
was
just
trying
tell
to
him I'm gonna
talk to him,
punish him.
dude.
Like I apologize,
Do
I'm
you
about to
remember
punish
the
you.
night-
No, I couldn't even speak. I was like, dude,
That's-
fucking individual thought patterns fucking so
Oh, I know what that was. Canty, that was at the Black Dahlia show backstage in
Yeah,
Pound,
remember
right?
when
was
Chase
Yeah, yeah.
whatever?
so I was in no
God,
way.
I
You
got in
guys
so much trouble. Black
immediately-
Dahlia got me in so much. I mean, they didn't get me in trouble, but I brought all my friends back there. I brought you. I brought Murray. I
That was
brought
back
fucking Chase, and like fucking Chase got like blacked out drunk, like from, and then Black Dahlia's about to take Animosity on tour the next tour, and Chase got blacked out drunk and would just like he would just take a sip of he would take a chug of their vodka and just threw it against the wall and just like shattered it, and then just like all their clothes are right there.
things got
And like
kinda
everything's right
hectic
there.
that night,
And I
for
remember
sure,
like they're
dude.
like, Joel, come here. And like I'm like, fuck. And they brought me in, and it was like them like at the Pound just all wrapping their shit up, like, so what went on in the room, dude? What's going on? And I was like,
it was at
yeah, that
Slim's, not the
Slims.
Pound.
And I was like, Chase got wasted, threw some shit around, and then all of a sudden they were like, well, we're gonna kick him off the tour. And I was like, no, don't do that, don't do. Well, make this work. And I like it went through this like drama, a bunch of
that was
apologies and stuff. And I was
it
like,
all love. Everybody
yeah,
else
it
was
was-
all love, but Chase kind
well,
of
dude,
it
Chase was like, I'd never seen Chase blacked out, and he was
I had
just
to
kind
take
of
him
like,
home. I
fuck
took him
it.
home.
He was like,
Dude, my wife
I
got
was like-
pulled over on the way home from that
Oh my
show, and
God.
all of us were passed out in the car. Chase, Dan, me, all sleeping, snoring fucking bears, and my wife got pulled over for something. I don't even know what. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that's so funny for a woman to be pulled over with 3 snoring metalheads. And just be like, yeah, I'm the chauffeur, you know. And she was probably
like-
driving too fast, but
she's like, I'm the coroner. for these people. But yeah, those drunk moments, like you said, Charles, those are. I can't think of other ones. I mean, one was
that was
Tony
a good
Loreno. I got
shovel
mad
moment.
at once, drunk, but and you could
Wait,
you could destroy me.
So if he played the Knitting Factory, were you there when it turned into a gothic nightclub afterwards? That time?
No,
So-
that was when we played the main room.
So Charles, you might have been actually. So this was 2006 or 5.
Maybe
Is
we're talking
that when
about
you played with
Broadway.
Emperor in LA? Because Emperor was down the street.
Yeah, probably 2006 or 2005. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they were down the street and we were competing with that show. So it was Deeds, Odious, Decrepit, and Vile, and
Oh,
And
Emperor was playing down the street, and it was
Inherit
actually did
played
really
that
well.
night too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Inherit opened, but yeah, I
Yeah.
remember like they're like, dude, and like fucking Emperor's like 9 blocks over. And I'm like,
Oh,
fuck.
I think that show's online too.
Really?
somewhere. I think so. I mean, I remember Samus amp blew out on stage too, and he ended up using my Mark IV. But
Damn,
but yeah,
Jesus. We're old.
I feel I feel for him though, because like I remember when playing with Emperor like in Abysmal Dawn, but like when I was in high school, my amp, we did that fucking high school or the talent show, not talent show, fucking sorry, but what
Battle bands.
Battle of Bands,
Yeah.
right? We did a Battle of Bands to play that with Emperor on their first tour. My amp blew up on stage, like on the
God, of
fucking
course it
first
did.
song or something. So anyway, I
Mm.
remember like going direct into like the board with a metal zone. It was like the worst.
Oh my
fucking
God.
tone
That's
I
the
ever
most
heard.
metal guitar sound of all time.
So bad.
Look,
Straight
like
into the
fucking-
board with a
I
metal.
mean,
sound,
you're
dude.
being brought into the metal zone. How could it not
Yeah.
be metal? You know?
you have
So-
no choice.
Metal
yeah,
Zone is not
And
an
then
actual-
later,
Like-
Samus amp blew up, and he got to use my amp. So that's I don't know. It was a weird coincidence, I guess.
Damn, that's crazy. So, can we talk about, because one thing I hear your name all the time with other bands and stuff, because you work at Nuclear Blast and you've been doing it for a long time. Actually, when you were babysitting me from not punishing Lemmy, I think you were even working back then. So you've been working with them for what, like 13, 14 years now?
Math. I don't know, like 15, something like that. Yeah, something. It's been a long
So
time.
how did you get started there? How did you go from the performance side of the things to going to kind of like the back end?
I went to Musicians Institute for a while, and then I think I was at one of my not my first job, but like one of my early jobs. I worked at a Blockbuster Music,
Oh
and
shit.
actually, funny side story. I don't know if you the what's his name, Dusty. He's done like covers for Bloodbath and stuff like that. He used to come into Blockbuster, I guess, when I worked there, and I don't remember, we were talking about metal, and he added me on like Facebook something years later, and he said like I inspired him to like keep going because he came in and we was talking to metal. I was like, go and follow your dreams and whatever bullshit I said, it was a lie. And like, and I guess he worked out doing like, Bloodbath covers and a bunch of other shit. And
Sick.
yeah, I don't know. That's a side thing, but
Working at Blockbuster, did it turn you into a film buff, or were you a film buff before
It's
that?
music.
I mean, I
Music.
watched a lot of. No, it was Blockbuster Video. I worked.
Oh,
at
video.
Blockbuster. Yeah, I watched a lot of fucking movies, I guess, when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just the reason why I ask is most guys who work at the rental places usually are like actually into film and shit, So
Yeah,
I actually respect dudes who worked at rental places back in the day because I know that they know their shit.
yeah. I mean, I watched a lot of fucking movies. I remember my mom used to have like fucking Roger Ebert guides and shit like that, and I fucking have stupid useless knowledge on a lot of movies, I think. But anyway, so I don't know. I worked at a Blockbuster, and then I was going to MI, and then I think later when I was doing the MI thing, I scored an internship at Century Media because I did that for a while and quickly got a job there, and then just sort of like kept rising up the ranks, I guess, of I don't know, because I'm not a total fucking idiot. So they like promoted me pretty fast there, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I was there for a while, and then I actually was doing Olympic recordings for a little bit, which was like their death metal imprint.
Yeah.
And
That's what Obscura came out on, right?
oh, Gorguts, you mean? Gorguts. Yeah. Prior, like that was in the 90s. That was prior to me. I like being with the label because
I'm
like,
thinking
Behemoth was on there, Vital Remains, stuff like that. So I don't know. And I like licensed, like I signed aborted at one point.
Damn.
To Century Media, did Swallow the Sun was another band, like I licensed their first record. And I like.
So can you explain Jesus Casey's view that he has? Swallow the
He's
Swallow
like,
the Sun.
this guy.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? But Swallow the Sun, I've never given them a fair shake. How would you describe them? How would be, because that's like a band I've always like heard about and never given them a shot.
They're like melodic doom death. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a melodic Swedish style with like a doom style to it, or
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your points of reference are for doom metal bands.
not the Swedish stuff, Joel.
Yeah.
I mean, for melodic, I'm talking about the melodic.
Yeah, but you just hear melodic. Melodic can be so many different things.
I mean, I think of melodic and I think of At the Gates. I think of like
I know, but
like,
when you hear melodic doom,
or
I don't
Carcass,
think
Heartwork.
At the Gates. I don't think At the Gates when you hear
it's
melodic
not At the
doom.
Gates, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I mean, when we talk about like two different genres and mixing them, I'm like, okay, so
yeah,
it's like
but melodic can be melodic.
No, it could be my brain's all fucking Swedish.
Melodic hip hop.
Idiot.
It could be melodic electronic dance music. It could be melodic of many things.
I can be
So
melodic.
doom would not make me think At the Gates. I'm just saying.
It'd be like.
I mean, I don't. Their old keyboard player joked to me once that they were just a mashup of fucking Typo Negative and My Dying Bride.
Okay, that's exactly the perfect.
It's not 100% accurate, but I get what he's saying. It's funny,
Yeah.
But yeah, so did that. I did like a couple things, like I don't think I was ever like, I don't know, like
were you like a talent scout? Were you seeking these bands out? And
I was
finding
doing
them?
A&R and publicity, and that was a short-lived thing because I know like that imprint was contacted at one point about like a copyright law and using the word Olympic in the title of a record company. So the Olympics has the trademark, basically. They can't, so like they dissolved that. They folded some bands into Century Media proper. I worked for Central Media proper for like a little bit, and then I don't know, but I don't think my musical tastes were ever like what they were trying to do with the label,
Mhm.
And I think there was a time where I think they were laying off people, and right around that time, which wasn't good, I was like, I'm gonna fuck off and go on tour for the first time. See you guys.
Yeah.
And then I lost my job there, and the president of the label kind of like promised me a job when I got back, like decided to quit too while I was on tour, and
Jesus.
I came back, and I just worked a lot of like odds and end jobs. Like I worked for the Key Club for a while, doing stagehand stuff, and then I worked for like a fitness supplement company, like warehouse gig for a bit, and then I don't know, and then I ended up getting the call to do Nuclear Blast, and then and I've been there ever since, basically. And
So with Nuclear Blast, like even like, so right now, obviously there's the streaming epidemic that you guys probably call, as far as like Spotify. I think like as far as keeping a job at a record label, it seems like record labels kind of went through a rough time, right? With the whole going from physical copies of things mainly to CDs or to streaming.
It's different the way like the business plan or whatever is just different for these days for record labels, and but people still buy physical products, and that was a challenge to overcome, I think, during the pandemic, because people still wanted to buy a lot of physical product, but it was and direct from labels too, but there was so many shortages and problems with manufacturing that it became a big deal. Like vinyl's still fucking hard to make, it's not as easy
After
as it used to be.
COVID.
Yeah, after
Yeah,
COVID, it's been like a pain in the ass to make vinyl. A lot of lead times unless you work some sort of deal out with the plants, and block capacities and shit like that. So
Metallica just bought their own, right? They like have their own vinyl company now because they're like they couldn't wait anymore or something. They just bought their own. That's what I heard.
right,
recently.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't,
But lead time is like what, like 4 to 6 months if you have an album out.
Dude, it was like 8 months to a year during
Jesus,
like the pandemic. It was pretty crazy.
For
That's
vinyl,
insane.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You still turn around CDs quickly, but a lot of people are listening or streaming stuff too. So
do you sell more tapes than CDs nowadays? Because people have this tape craze. Okay, so CDs.
Tapes
I
are
just
still
recently bought a cassette. I was
Yeah,
like,
it seems like a
holy
fun
shit, dude,
collectible thing.
yeah, a guy that I'm into, he put out his 50th album, and he put it out on just cassette and vinyl, no digital. I was like, you know what? I have a cassette player, but I'm not buying a fucking record player, because if I buy one of those, dude, it's gonna open a whole fucking can of worms for me to collect new shit. I have a tape player. I'm gonna just buy the tape.
Well, just like what Charles says, like I collect now because of the streaming services. If it's a band I'm really into, I get I have a bunch of vinyl behind me. I get the vinyl just because I like having the vinyl. I like holding onto it and looking at it and being like, "Fuck yeah,
they're
this
little
is
relics."
awesome."
Do you
Yeah,
even own a record player though?
I don't own one, but there's one downstairs. My roommate, my buddy.
There's a lot of people that just don't even own
No, I don't own one. I don't personally own one.
Or don't listen to it. They just like having the product.
They're in the. You can see they have the spastic ink is on the front right here.
Yeah, I thought that's what that was. Incomplete.
Yeah. It's still
Cool.
got the cover. It's got the plastic on it and everything. Like I'm not trying to open it. I just want to have it.
Bands should just sell their records in a prepackaged frame that people can buy.
Yeah. It's just to so somehow put it on your wall or something. Yeah. Somehow I know I want to because I'm the albums that I decide to buy on vinyl, they're I'm really proud to have them. Something I would actually want to show off in some sort of capacity. But it's not. It was nothing to do with oh, it sounds sicker if which I hear it does sound sicker on vinyl, but I personally just want the art
characteristic, and I wouldn't say it's one better than the other. And
I hew the shit out of my streaming stuff to make it sound okay. I have my full EQ on and just be like, I'll change it around for certain bands and shit.
If
I'm
the
like
if the
dorky.
contract's decent too, what you're really doing is just supporting the artist no matter what, even if you aren't listening to that record specifically. Like you know that album front to back, and it's and yeah, on top of it being like a little piece of art that you're holding, you know, it's not just a poster that's on the wall that you're tacking up with thumbnails. It's like this cool
Yeah, it's
little like
untouched.
time capsule of, you know, art.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
actually it's layered in a way that if you have the right machinery, there's music in there too, you know?
Yeah, I feel like vinyls are the classiest. They're kind of like books on a bookshelf. Like that's not really going to go
Yeah.
away in a
Yeah.
sense, you know. Even like on the iBooks and all that, it's like that shows books on a bookshelf, trying to emulate that classic. Like it's the same thing. Like vinyl is just on a bookshelf. Like that's kind of the, okay, you know. And CDs didn't even back in the '90s or whatever '80s. CDs didn't quite like have the same feel as like the vinyls did, and you know, it's
No,
like
I know, but
just, when you see someone behind you, there's just like, oh, this whole vinyl shelf. It's like, oh, that's classy, you know.
I
Like,
mean, I didn't grow up with vinyl. I mean, I had, you know, my
Yeah.
parents had some vinyl and stuff like that, but I wasn't like big on listening to vinyl as a kid. I had a shit ton of CDs.
me
I still have a
too,
shit ton of
dude. I
CDs.
still have them.
But like I have to say now, I like listening to vinyl just for the sheer, like it demands my attention. Like
You listen to the whole thing.
I listen to the whole thing. I sit
it's a
down.
whole experience.
I need to get up and fucking
turning,
flip
yeah.
it over, and you know, it's like,
Yeah.
And
I appreciate
so you're
that.
like, if I'm going to be doing this whole thing, I need to be preparing for it. So I'm going to be getting whatever beverage I'm going to be drinking during a snack. I'm going to have that over here. Got my weed, get my fucking, you know, whatever. And it becomes this whole like, I'm planning to sit down and do this one thing, like sit and watch a movie, you know, but you're having an auditory version of that.
I remember my late friend John, like I remember like there was times where we were like we would play pool either at my parents' house or at his parents' house, like, and they had one upstairs, and this is like just after high school age around there, and we would just shoot pool and put on Slayer records. He had all these like vinyls. We listened to Haunting the Chapel and like all kinds of shit, Hella Waits on vinyl, all that kind of shit, Sabbath, you know, all that kind of stuff, Iron Maiden. And there's just something sick about like just putting on vinyls and like shooting pool or something like that. It was just like,
you know what? Actually, that's amazing.
You can't recreate that with like streaming. It was, I mean, it's sick. Like, I mean, that's how I listen to all my music pretty much now. Is like,
no, but there's a deep memory attached to it.
I think hangouts should be like we should like, I think like a cool hangout should be like a record player and everyone brings an album and we listen to every single one of them. Like we all like throw on, it's like you bring over your album you want to listen to, and that's, you get to listen. It's not like nowadays it's like, oh no, can I get the Spotify? I want to change the song. Like it's like people like like want to immediately change it to their own song or something like that. And it's like, no. We each brought over a vinyl. We're listening to fucking the whole record all the way through, and then whoever's next gets to listen to theirs. Like maybe like draw straws who goes first, but that sounds like a cool like a party idea.
I really enjoy that idea because I have always been a proponent of listening to an album front to back. You know, everybody's so into that. You were talking about the Spotify thing, and that totally
that's just how I wipe.
Why the attention span of like the newer generation? Oh, here I go, old man talking. But I'm just like, or you too. I'm not just saying older, but
I have a terrible attention span.
Okay, I shouldn't say about generation. I should just say humans in general who are exposed to that type of way things are fed to us. I mean, pop music song, like the hit songs are all 2 minutes, you know, not even 3 minutes, because they want them to be shorter so people go back and listen to it again, so they get double the hits on each human each time they want to listen to it, or possibly more. You know, just put it on repeat. It's only 2 minutes long, dude. You can go 10 minutes before you realize I've been listening to the same song over and over and over again, you know?
That's why I think the whole like bring in the record thing, that would have fucking calmed me the fuck down from been like, oh, let me put on or let's change it up. It's like, no, this is the rule. Listen to the whole fucking album and shut the fuck up. And it doesn't matter what you want to listen to right now. This whole album's going to play and then it's your turn, you know, rather than just like song by song by song by song. Well, like people like wanted to change shit around constantly.
And I'm curious what Charles thinks of this too, but like I've heard people talk about this too, but like kind of like when there's an album, like there's like, people like kind of put the songs in an order, like thinking people are going to listen to it in that order, whatever kind of, but it's like I don't remember what it was. I was listening to some kind of interview recently, and they were kind of like, well, the thing that was cool about like back in the day with the medium of listening to music all the way through, like the album, was that like there might be the songs on the album that are like the hits and stuff that everyone's going to hear, or the music videos or whatever, the singles. But then there's like these like hidden songs that are like not the hits that like sometimes are your favorite, like personal favorites or something, like,
Right.
Yeah.
and those kind of just get kind of passed by sometimes, or overlooked, or, I don't know. What do you think about that? Like part of it, or,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're to quote Dallas Tyler Wade, victims of the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Great. Wow.
Shout out Dallas.
Narcotic Wasteland.
Oh yeah, we love Dallas.
But anyway, like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess you would kind of skip over a lot of songs. Like, people just go to our most popular songs or any other band, like on Spotify, and that's getting the most plays because whatever, or the algorithm sees this had the most plays, so they're adding it to more playlists and shit like that. And yeah, I guess stuff probably gets skipped over, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe there's a change coming, or I still like listening to full format albums, but also it's kind of like, why am I fucking trying so hard if people are gonna forget about a record like after I release it? Like, it's like,
I know.
Put out a couple singles or something, or I don't know.
I know, but it's like I feel like there's something that becomes personal, like if I listen to an album like back in the day, say Pierce from Within, like Suffocation or something, and I'm like, well, this song's like my personal favorite. Like I know that the song Pierce from Within is like kind of the single, it's the first song, it's like it's very catchy and it's kind of, but like I'm like, but dude, like, number 8 or whatever, I can't remember the name of it right now or whatever, or something like, or 6, or like, there's like these tracks that I'm like in my mind, like that I'd always go to that were like my personal favorite. So like, it's kind of like having the internet tell me what's the best song, or like all the views are on this is the track. It's kind of like
the album has like a vibe too, like it has a flow,
exactly,
and that's what I liked about albums, but
yeah,
I don't know, old man shit, get off my lawn.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not like, I think we're just like kind of like looking at why things are different, because it's still good. Like I still love listening to new albums coming out, and I love using my streaming shit, like, like, I mean,
everything's a la carte.
It's very convenient in so many ways. Like
everything's a la carte nowadays, and that's how most people want to take their shit in. And that's totally fine.
I think the thought is more like, should we keep putting out full albums, like, or LPs, like, or whatever, or is it like not even EPs, it's just singles, or like whatever, like what's like do we need to change the format of releasing?
It's becoming more split.
Because,
like putting singles out seems like what a lot of people want to do now.
Dude, I think we do both. A lot of people are doing both now. Maybe saving some songs. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like, why put out a fucking double album or something? Like if Pink Floyd The Wall was released today, someone would be like, it's too long. We gotta keep it to one disc and save some of these songs for fucking singles later. It'd, like, ruin it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, but
I know, but the thing is, I've said this so many times in the show, dude. It really is that we're just making art, and it should be for us first, and it doesn't really matter. So if we feel like we want to make an album that is a whole thing, then that's what we want to do. If we don't want to do that, we don't. As the artist, we should have, it's. I don't think that we should do anything for like anything. It should start with us, and then we're like, okay, now we're giving it to the people, or giving it to the world, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to say. I mean, I feel like everyone wants to feel that and believe that, and but there's at the same time, like, people that are really trying to be fucking musicians, like, and this is the game you gotta play. It's kind of depressing, you're trying to make a living off it, because there is a certain, like, got to cater to your market or whatever. But
I know, and I'm speaking from my point of view where I've never, very quickly did not pursue a career in this shit because I wasn't going to be able to survive, so I just stopped quick. So yeah, I understand that, like, when it comes to a career, then you're like, you got to play the game a little bit more too.
Well, I think where the argument comes from, though, what you're talking about, like for yourself versus the people, I think where that comes from, or not argument, where statement comes from, is like people got into you because of what you did earlier, and because you were like something, and like if you start to like go like, well, this is more, it's like, like let's put eyeliner on now. It's like, let's be more like hip to the what's going on right now. It's like that, and you start to lose. You hear so many people go like, oh, I like their old stuff the most. It seems like because they were more
well,
organic.
that shit happens no matter what. Like we've been putting out fucking death metal records for fucking forever now, and like someone's gonna be like, I like this album better. I'm like, no one liked this album when it came out. Well, where the fuck were you? Like,
I know. Exactly. And now they love it.
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? Like, but I mean, that's cool.
It is kind of a compliment to say, at least you have one situation where you have proof where you were ahead of somebody's time because they didn't catch it until later. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was at least ahead of that.
I think
that's a good one.
But I think it also depends how you consume music. Like if you're, like watching just music videos, like I don't know, like I like music videos, but like I don't like necessarily go for that like as much. Like for me, it's like if an album's out, it's like, oh, you gotta check this out. Like I go on to my preferred streaming platform and I just listen to the whole album. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
it's a cool way to discover new music though. Like you listen to something and shit just keeps playing, I've found bands out like that, and
oh, 100%. And I do like seeing, like, getting connected to, but I mean like if there's an album, like it's like, okay, this album I need to listen to it, like I will listen to the album like all the way through, like, or
but also like when you're
I like it.
Everyone was like of an age here that probably like they discovered music and had to pay for it, and then with your money or your fucking parents' money, but you made that shit like last, and you listened to the fuck out of that like over and over again. And
when it was yours that you discovered. It was like
you really made the decision of whether or not you liked it because you.
But what I'm trying to say is that like the platform hasn't changed. I mean, the platform has changed, but like I still like if there's an album that I'm like, okay, I pay for the streaming service. I don't pay for the album or whatever it is, but like it's like I still look at it as like if I had bought it, it's just on my computer and I'm gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? Like
that definitely
that's because I'm old and I used.
But the one thing with the streaming service though is that I'm finding out is that like when you get flooded with like you can listen to everything. Like when
I don't.
Back in,
I guess that was maybe more the point that I was trying to make was that you don't appreciate it as much, or it doesn't stick with you as much because
there's so much.
It's like there's so much. And
an album will come out, and like a week later, people are like, "Oh, what album? Oh yeah, they had a new album last week, right? Oh yeah, that's cool. It was good. It was really good. It was really good. I loved it." But like they're hearing like this, like it's like so much other shit coming out. It's like I'll hear some songs from it. It's fine.
Most of the time, I like listen to music, like when I'm working or doing whatever. It's on shuffle, and I'm like, it's like one.
Song,
so constant. It's totally crazy. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's just weird. It's like you can blame. I mean, I think the change of the platforms and everything, like in the media, like has changed how like younger people approach music and how they listen to it and stuff. But it really like hasn't like changed necessarily. I mean, it definitely has changed, I guess, in a way how like us older guys listen to music, or at least speaking for myself. But I still like will go and just listen to an album all the way through and with that way, so like and the streaming doesn't like stop me from doing that. Like I can easily
it keeps you doing it more. I mean, it's like once a song comes out, like all your friends have heard it though. It's like you don't get the chance to like get that album like and like be like, oh, I forgot this album and it's sick, you guys should check it out. It's like the song comes out, it's like, well, everyone knows it. It's like it's like immediate, everyone knows the song. Like that's the crazy part to it.
I think the thing about an album is that like you got to give the band a chance to give you its secrets. It's like dude, we
Yeah.
like we have this little, you know, these Easter eggs for you, and these like songs or these like these
Right.
cookies, like these parts, like that just like you got to get through the album to like find all those things. Like, you know, it's like watching like a movie or a show and just watching like episode 1 and then episode 7 and then episode 10 and then you're done. It's like you know, you got to like
Yeah.
give
That is
it
a
the
good
whole
point.
and people binge watch shows, the shit, like people are down with that. So like I can
It is
binge
similar.
listen to an album or listen to, I mean, how many times have we binged listened to bands from podcasts coming on, or someone that we don't know about, or Joseph, especially like Brit, you know, telling us about
Brings a new band on.
that we
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
about, and we have to binge listen to it and stuff. And I listen to the full albums, like
Yeah.
in order, you know.
Out of respect.
And there's
So-
still like so many surprises, like that you know you listen to some of
Yeah,
these bands
dude.
you've never heard of, and you're like, whoa, this is sick. This is really cool. Like you like see the name of the band
Yeah.
before, you're like, I don't know nothing about this band. I don't know what the fuck. Like, well, just I mean, I'm down to promote bands, but I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then you listen to it, you're like, this is. I can see where this band's coming from. This is fucking rad, you know? It's like you judge the
Yeah.
name at first, you're like, okay, it's the blah 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 blah. It's like a 3-name band. You're like, all right, well, you know, all right, I'll give you a chance still. It's cool. And then you hear it and you're like, holy fuck, you guys are insane. Like what the, like, you know, it's one thing actually I wanted to on my docket to talk to Charles about was you know, growing up with music and stuff, obviously we talked a million times, new metal. I mean, for me and Anthony, I mean,
Yeah.
Casey skipped it. But you got to do stuff with Serj from fucking System of a Down recently. I want to talk about like how that came in into your scope and what the fuck. I remember seeing like, oh, Charles is my buddy. What the fuck? He's playing with Serj now. Like, what the fuck is going? And I just want to know how that all came into fruition and stuff.
Dude, you know who hooked it up was Craig from Archaic.
Really,
So-
Craig?
Wow.
Yeah, Craig from
Oh.
Archaic, man.
Shout out Craig.
Because Craig works for Sound Iron, and
That's right. Yep.
And Serj uses a lot of their plugins and like was using their vocal library for his project, right? His this classical sort of influence project, and the two singers that were on the sound library, he just wanted to get them, so he got them, and then I think he asked Craig if he knew any like death metal singers, and I was the guy he referred, and I think he initially had the dude from Bad Acid Trip, I think, do the demos.
Okay.
And but he couldn't do the performance or something, and then so Serj asked Craig. Craig told me, I was totally into it, and then you know Serj liked my stuff, and that was pretty much it.
So you guys performed it, or did you record it? Like, how did it work?
We performed it. Yeah. We got together for some workshops. Well, first he like sent over like his demos and all that, and then I would listen to him and like, you know, think like I'd hear what he put initially down, and then think about like what I would do in those parts instead, and or like and then we got together for workshops and with just the singers and like the backing tracks and just hash shit out there, you know. But he was super cool, man. He was fucking really awesome. Like, what is it? Someone's asking where they can listen to that.
How do you search for it?
So it's not out yet. Like, there was a live performance, sold out show. It was a sold out show, and at his old alma mater there, CSUN, California State University. So there's a big amphitheater there or whatever that we performed at. So that was really cool. But totally fucking cool guy, so fucking nice,
humble,
so humble, man. Like, like letting me do my thing, open to ideas, you know, not just like, no, fuck you. It's like, you know, I'm just like, it was on the demo this way, fuck you. Like he was, you know, open to like, because I was prepared to just like show up, get paid, do my thing, and you know, just do a cool thing, because it's a fucking cool thing to do. But he was just super cool. I remember I told him, I was like, dude, thank you so much for not being a rock star dick. And he's like, that was probably the nicest thing anyone's ever seen.
That's rad.
But yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Super unique, dude. I mean, probably the most unique voice in the new metal.
Yeah, man, definitely. I know So I don't know. Someone's asking where they can hear it. I know his plan is to mix it and then release it later. So
Just
What
to
style
call
is
back,
it?
real
Oh,
quick,
sorry.
just to call back who I was talking about earlier. He had also worked with Tigran.
Serj
on
did.
an
Oh,
album.
okay.
Yeah, and
That makes sense.
It's jazz is something I forget. It's a jazz centric album, but it's him and Tigran and various other
fuck. I think I was just listening to that. Is it Jazzercist or Jazzercist?
something
like that.
jazz. It's a play on words with jazz in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was listening to that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
Is
he's
that
got his
on
own
Spotify?
label. Apple
I'm
Music,
sure it's
Spotify,
gotta
yeah.
be.
But I ran
Fucking
into
Charles
it
like
the other
Charles is like all the streaming services are ruining my fucking job. They're on.
Yeah.
I didn't say they ruined my job.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
You know?
kidding. You mean fucking 15 years or whatever for Nuclear Blast? Jesus Christ!
No,
You're
artists
doing
are
just
always
great.
artists have been fucked from the beginning, guys, and we all
Yeah,
knew
it's
it.
never been like, dude, I got a great deal. Have you ever heard a band say like, "Fuck yeah, I got a sick deal"? Like I
digital
don't think I've
music.
ever heard that.
Oh, it's the new world of music. Yeah, it's just
But also,
another
do you
world
want
that
to?
we get fucked in again.
Well, it's also too like, do you? I mean, you have to if you want to not get fucked, you have to be a band that really knows so many different sides of the music industry besides just making music. Yeah, that's what labels come in and they do that. That's like
that's
what they do.
what I'm saying is like it. Even if he's talking, he's just bullshitting whatever. But I mean, Snoop Dogg, the owner of Death Row Records, just recently was like, "How the fuck does this Spotify shit work? If I get 1 million views, or if I get 1 billion views, why don't I get $1 million?"
Yeah,
That's a
you probably
fucking
get
question right there, right?
I get 100,000. I don't know. Actually, actually, Charles, do you know like I don't know if you want to get into this, but
Oh
like
my
the
God.
the payouts in streaming, is it like
Fractions of
do
a fucking cent.
I know it's a fraction for sure because I could hire a fucking listening farm and just have listening to which
$18.
$18 specific.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like if you just kept just a bunch of your friends, it's like, hey, do me a favor, dude. When you leave your house, just put my album on shuffle and like
Yeah,
I'll just get paid.
Possible. I don't know, man. But
it's hard.
It is hard, and I think it's like 1,500 streams kind of equate to like an album sold or something these days.
Okay. That's a cool metric.
But yeah, and I think I think Apple Music pays more than
they do.
than
Spotify.
Spotify, but YouTube pays the least. But YouTube is more like people discover more bands probably like on YouTube. I don't know. There's advantages. It's I don't know. It's
so how does a label like so like an album comes out though, and I always notice it's on YouTube by a guy with like Swiss shot 17 is all of a sudden put the album the day it came out, he puts it on YouTube, and like that's where everyone goes. So does the label go like, all right, well, they have to go like funnel it to the label, right, or to the band, right? Is that how that works? Because I always see that happen where an album drops, it's posted by some random screen name, and it's like the whole album in like succession, and like I never knew how like labels and bands get paid from that.
You mean like if someone just randomly uploads it on?
Yeah, and it's like it's there with like 1 million listens.
It's like there's like a digital footprint or whatever, and like if they didn't claim it or something, and they're not trying to make money on their videos, then like the label or whoever owns the copyright can still claim the video. Like it automatically recognizes it. Like,
but they keep it up, right?
Yeah,
they keep the video up, and they just take okay.
Yeah, rather than like trying to like fucking nix a bunch of channels and get people in trouble. I think that's
they just monetize it.
They monetize it for themselves.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I own that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you for putting it up.
Copyright.
Thank you for doing that work for us.
The algorithm. Yeah, that's a smarter way to go though if you think of it. Like
Yeah.
Some of those channels have like
have
some channels have a good amount of followers already. So I guess it makes sense.
So is there any kind of release ballpark for that Serj stuff?
I don't know. Got together with him and all the other singers at one point, and he was just telling us, I'm gonna work this out, and I'm not gonna forget you guys, cut you in on or whatever. I'm like, it's really, really fucking cool, and I don't know what his time frame is to do it, but I told him like, I have a studio. If you ever want to like, if I need to redo anything that sucks, just let me know. But I think it was good. I don't know. It's good at the time. I'm doing it. I remember I was kind of nervous, man. I mean, fucking nervous because I didn't know what people would think about it, and like I didn't know what kind of audience was going to show up and like how they would, I don't know, interpret my vocals. Like was everyone just going to fucking like be laughing and just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe we're at a point where this style of vocal isn't so shocking or ridiculous to people now. You know what I mean?
But on Sugar by I mean, System of a Down, Sugar, he goes like he growls in that.
Oh yeah,
he like does. I can't growl.
He's got some growls. He's got some growls.
No, he does though. Like back in like what, like 99, 2000, like he was like growling in the mainstream kind of thing. It's like they were quick, but he was doing it. So it's like it wouldn't seem outside the box for fans to be like, okay, well.
I think nowadays it's better than ever to take chances, dude. I've heard some things recently that I think is taking chances. Shout out Disfiguring the Goddess. It's gonna be a fucking sick drop. I think this album is gonna be dope in my perspective, and he took a lot of chances on this album. I think that's what I'm saying. You just take chances, dude. It may fucking hit a fucking brick wall, but I think diving off the cliff into the water might be more fun than you realize, dude. When
it's like, do you want to make $7 or $0?
Yeah, but fucking money. I'm just saying, like the feeling of making something, like taking chances and making something. Or
Disfiguring the Goddess. Can you remind me what that is? Because that was a random throw out, and I know I've heard it before, but I forget what we were talking about.
He actually gave you access to this album in a.
Well, I just tell what people are listening and don't know what the fuck it is. So,
well, the album that I'm talking about wouldn't really. It hasn't come out yet. The album that
who's involved?
It's Cameron. He Argon. He's been on the show, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know it's only 133 episodes of random shit,
and he was only on like 15 episodes ago, or some shit like that, maybe even more. But either way, I back that project, dude, and
you're taking chances. Was you back, like giving a like going?
No. If you listen to everything he's done so far, he's always been taking chances throughout his whole entire thing. And this one, I think he went all in on taking chances and fully came out with something great, And
yeah.
I can't wait for it to drop for everybody else to hear, because I've been talking. I think this is like the second or third time I've been like excited about this album, but it still isn't out yet. And I'm fortunate enough to be listening to it pretty much every fucking time I can.
Well, as far as like the taking chances, Charles, how was like when you're looking at the crowd and you're doing your thing and Serj is doing his thing, did you see like a general reaction or a pullback, or were people into it? Or
no, I mean I try not to pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
I just want to do my thing and be in the moment. But at the end, when they announced like the solo vocalist, I was really surprised at like how much of applause I got from it. So that was cool. Like I didn't know how it was gonna go over.
I mean, the metal media like fucking. They're like fucking Charles and Serj and shit, and I was like, "What the fuck? This is insane!" Like,
yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, dude, shit like it's weird. I mean, I've done some cool shit, and it's weird, and I don't know how to fucking process it. I don't process it usually.
Oh, Death to All, you did Death to All as well, right?
Yeah, the Death to All thing. That's like another example of like I can't think about this when it's happening, or else I'll fucking like break down mentally. So but like after the fact, you'd be like, oh fuck, that was pretty cool. But but then I have this thing of like, okay, now what's next? Like, what do we do next?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. Like, it keeps me busy, but like just maybe I need to work on like appreciating things like that, I guess.
I mean, it's just probably so much like stimuli coming your way. It's like if you were a kid just starting off, and you're like, oh, you're gonna be the Death Singer for a while. It's like you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But like, playing all these shows, like, all right, this is now a professional experience, and I need to do really well at this, and well, it's like you put yourself in the mindset of just like killing it, but like not stepping back and being like, this is fucking ridiculous what's going on right now, like throwing that whole thing into it. Another question I had for you, just you're in the record label industry, what do you think of a band like Sleep Token that's just like destroying, like they're selling out Wembley Stadium in 5 minutes, and they're like,
that's sick, man.
How does that, is it the marketing thing? Is it like, I mean, the songs are really catchy, they're like pop songs, but they have like metal in it too.
Some of it's really heavy and of it's like really fucking poppy.
Yeah,
they're
just like literally the most famous band right now, I think. Like they're selling out like anything they touch.
Oh yeah,
no, it's this brand new band.
They got the sort of like costumes, and
it's like we don't know.
They have like a thing, like. I mean,
Casey, they're actually trying to make like they're doing the whole like you aren't supposed to know who we are kind of anonymity thing. Like listen to the music, don't know us kind of thing. So they're doing like the whole
Ghost kind of thing or something.
It's like Ghost, but like more. What would you call it? It has the Ghost until like what's his name? Tobias got sued. Like no one knew his name either, but then he got sued by his ex-band members for not paying him. And then his name came out and stuff. But same thing with this band. It's kind of like, I mean, people know who he is. If you want to Google it, you could probably figure it out. But they're just trying to keep the whole like, we don't want you to focus on the humans, but the music is what. And they have this kind of like lore behind them.
It's easy to switch. Up.
Well, they have like funk. They have like fucking pop. They have like metal in it. They have like everything in it, but it's like all hidden in there, and it's all kind of random. And but everyone's like obsessing. Like I literally saw they were they had a show.
The drummer is really fucking good. You dig him. Casey.
Yeah. He's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
I looked him up.
He's like he's on the verge of like overplaying, but he's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you're just like, God damn. Like
that's kind of what I like.
He's fitting in the pocket like so good. Like he's still like within that realm of acceptable, like not just being like not tasteful, but he's really fucking good. I just remember listening to the band and thinking that, and just like, God damn. At least one of their songs. I don't know.
His name is like 7 or something. Like
I don't know.
No, I know. I looked him up. I found out who he is, but everyone like gets all gnarly about keeping that band anonymous. But no, they did a really good job. And the thing is, like, selling out Wembley fucking arena in 7 minutes, like that's insane to me. It's like that's like I don't think fucking Rammstein would do that right now. I mean, obviously after the new news, but or Metallica or something.
What's the new news?
I saw the headlines, but I didn't see.
I didn't see anything. What's that? What happened?
It's just something weird happened backstage with a person, and they're fighting it, and blah blah blah. So it's like all he should.
Wait, something weird happened with the band that brings out gimps and like hits dildos and stuff.
I would never suspect. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah. It's all
You tell me those antics might actually still be happening backstage. It's not just for the stage.
It's not Motley Crue. I mean, Motley Crue. They would be. Imagine if Motley Crue was in the age of social media and iPhones. They'd have been gone like right away. The shit like their antics with women and stuff. Like it would just been like, oh shit. They're like, oh, they did this to this drunk person. Gone. They'd just been like, it'd have been gone. So it's like. It's just to the age of the times. You can't really, you just got to speculate now if you want to. But no, I mean, as far as going back to Sleep Token, like, man, they just hit like an algorithm, just like what Ian was saying earlier. That just literally, like they went from 100,000 listeners to 3 weeks to 3 million on Spotify or something. Like that's, I don't think it's ever been done. Like as far as the exploding
How did that happen?
It's just
word of mouth.
Stuff.
I mean, they put out a pretty popular record, that kind of built word of mouth in the last.
Like, was there a viral clip or something?
Not even. It's just a weird. When people find out about it, they're like, "Oh, I kind of like that part of it," and I connected with it, and I actually like that song, "The Summoning," and I was like, "What the fuck is it?" And it made me go check it out. Like, I had this this like kind of like robotic thing. Like I need to check this out now. Like I was like, it was such a weird. Actually, you know what got me into them was the fart video. There's a video with
Fart video.
There's a video with someone farting in the middle of their set when they're like being all like romantic and doing like a cute part,
Okay,
and some
yeah.
guy just like
Saw that.
farts.
I
Some guy
remember
just
you
like
sending this to me
so-
now, dude.
yeah, and it's like a literally they're singing through microphones, and some guy farts so loud that it comes through.
You can hear
It just like he's like being all like, because some guy's like, it's like, and I was like, dude, luckily I bet that guy has in-ear monitors. If he did not have in-ear monitors, he would be like, shit. Like,
What's more funny, that or dude stage diving at
at a Suno.
Suno, yeah.
Some guys stage diving at
What?
Suno was one of my it's one of my favorite videos, dude. It's
Dude,
so
can
like
we
it's like
pull
the
that up,
slowest
dude?
part.
I
What's that?
don't
I don't know if I can
think
find it.
What's that?
I don't know if I
you
can
can
find
find it, dude. Let's
see-
just do it real quick, dude.
There's like a
right.
meme of what is it? Someone like a really sad guy like saying like went to the Catatonia concert and someone started a mosh pit or something like that.
Oh, dude,
We
I
were
just
talking
found
about
it.
Doom earlier, and Joel posted another funny little thing about Doom. Like it was like a troll like coming out of his little Hobbit
I just found it.
thing or
Dude.
whatever, and it was like the Doom guitar player waking up to play the second note.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, check this out. So it's Sun L. Check out the stage dive timing.
What?
Okay, do it again, dude. Imagine being the guy that stage dives during
It's like
that
the slowest
part.
thing ever. It's like, and some guy just goes like, "Fuck yeah!" Like it's like a fucking like a thrash metal fucking stage dive. Oh
Oh,
my god,
I love it,
it's
dude.
so good.
It's so
Fuck
funny
yeah.
to me, dude. All right.
We both
Where'd
came
we
to
go
like,
from here,
how do
guys?
we podcast, dude? Oh yeah,
How
we're
did we do this again? 133 episodes. All right. Let's get into like the current times now, dude. Like what's going on, what's bubbling up, like tours and all that kind of shit, or new albums, writing, what's going on right now?
I mean, I'll also do like a lot of production and mixing and mastering stuff on the side too. Been doing that and
oh yeah.
working on the new Abysmal Dawn, like writing right now. Probably touring in the fall and with a band I think everyone will be happy about. And
Cannibal Corpse.
it's not Cannibal Corpse, but
It's about one guess. That's all.
that was all you got. You know, you fucking
That's all. I don't want to blow it.
You wasted it.
Like Joe all of a sudden gets on the point where he wants to just blow it.
I don't want
Yeah.
to just.
I almost wanted
say
to
the
say it
thing.
in the band too, but I was like, no, I'll just
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say it. Oh, there you go.
maybe
Yeah.
I was just about
No,
to say
it's not them.
No, that's what I don't want to
Okay.
start a guessing game and actually
No,
actually get it
I
right.
can't really say anyway. It's like I can't fucking
Yeah, yeah.
talk about it. But yeah, we'll be touring again in the fall. We're trying to
it's
work on new
Suno.
stuff. Maybe do a little like a single EP type thing. We have, you know, like a song recorded. I just need to write some fucking lyrics because I hate writing lyrics. So there's that. Yeah.
Where do you go to when you're out of lyrics? I know actually speaking of Serj, I was watching a interview with Rick Rubin on Lex Friedman's podcast, I think it was.
Mhm.
And he was talking about how for what's the Chop Suey song, he had no idea where to go. And he was
Mhm.
like, what the fuck? And Rick Rubin's like, just grab a book. And he just grabbed a book and like I forget, it's towards the end, there's a lyric passage where he just Serj grabbed a book and just like read it's like one of the end like anthems of the song. It has nothing to do with the song at all.
The why
Just
have you
grabbed-
forsaken me part or
yeah,
something?
that part.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the why have you forsaken, because he like opened a book randomly and just read that and sang it. And I was like,
I totally believe in
damn.
that, dude, because really you just need something to spark that flame,
yeah.
you know, like
Especially when you burnt, you're trying to get all this shit out, and like your brain's just like, I don't even know anymore. It's like just look at something and be like, oh, that could be saying, you know,
yeah,
like
just need something to just start you off on a path to an idea, dude, and then you'll eventually get there, you know.
he literally
But
just sang the sentence in the book. He just,
Yeah.
just
Well, I mean,
and that was it.
Another example of this would be with Sage Francis and his song "Makeshift Patriot." It was he was wanting to do a song about the 9/11 shit, and
Sounds chill.
but didn't know what he was going to do, and then he all of a sudden was watching all these news people with all their reports and getting ideas from what they were saying, and he started like matching reporters' lines with other reporters' lines and like making rhymes with it. And so he's actually quoting these reporters from the real time reporting that they were doing during the 9/11 and making it into a song. So it's like you can literally just grab from anywhere, and then art is made if you're like in the right mind state and it puts you on the right path to.
That's literally what Rick Rubin was charged to do. He knows nothing about music. He knows nothing about music theory. But he's about like inspire, like Under the Bridge wouldn't have been a song without. He was like had to force them to make Under the Bridge a song from Red Hot Chili Peppers. They were like, no, I don't want to do it. And he's like, no, I think that's a great thing. He just like gave him some ideas, and they made like probably their biggest song. It's like
Right.
that's what he does it with rappers. He does it with fucking rock bands, metal. Like he's like proudly states, I know nothing about how to play a piano. I can't play a guitar. But like he just sits there, he's like, I just think I have like kind of good taste or something. I don't know. Like, and they just pay him like all this money to like sit with them and like inspire him, like a yogi or something. He looks like a yogi.
He did the Sabbath 13, right? That album.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's a couple songs on there that I think are pretty good, dude. Like there's some good shit on that, dude. For like a
little Rubin-y or what?
You
I'm
don't
not
think
laughing that it
you
is.
laughing at me? What?
Funny. I wasn't laughing. That's just your wording and the way you laid it out. It made me
Rubin-y?
giggle, but wanted to hear more. That's all I said. I giggled, but I wanted to hear more, dude. That's it.
Yes.
Oh shit. I was drinking.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just adding to what Joel was saying. That Funky Monks documentary thing is cool. That video.
Is it about Rick Rubin?
Well, yeah, like recording. That's about recording. Blood Sugar Sex Magic, like at that house and shit. You guys seen that? It's like a black and white.
Did he tell him to start recording songs about California?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You guys are from California, right?
Oh man,
you guys like heroin, right?
You guys like heroin and you like California? Oh fuck, man.
I know. Seriously.
He's like fucking billions of dollars.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, I know. So much money. I mean, he did Slayer, a couple Slayer. He did like
he did a lot of like everything up to Diabolus. I think he did.
Yeah, like is American Music or something. What's the
they're
label?
American Records. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. All those CDs had the same CD.
Yeah, that's right.
When you have
the gray and the black
collector, and then you put it all in your binder, and all the Slayer CDs were
they all look the same.
Like,
they look the same.
Fuck,
yeah.
Which one is it? They put it in order.
That's an alpha move. That's an alpha move. Just going like, dude, you're fucking. They're all gonna look the same. That's all you got. You have to read them and shit. You don't know by logos and by art. You're just like, all right, is this Slayer or is this Seal?
To bring it back to Serj with Toxicity, they had that, but they're like, we're gonna change the font. If you look at the OG, if you look at the OG Toxicity release, it is a parody of the fact that all those American recording CDs looked like that. If we can pull up some image of that right now, and like,
dude, we don't have Joseph here. Dude.
I'm sorry,
I'm not your Jamie.
I'm just saying we could have the comparison of what I'm talking about.
Anthony like demanding all these things. Pull this
all right,
up.
fine, fuck it, dude. I don't want any more references.
Dude, you can Google it too, bro.
Can I? I don't know how to screen share. I'm not a fucking.
Am I an admin?
I just typed in system of a type. I just typed in system of a typing.
Make me admin of these things. Like they know that
I typed in system of a typing. That's what I just did.
We specifically don't make Anthony an admin.
And they know because I wouldn't be able to do.
It's not a car. Yeah.
How do we get around this? Maybe we can make his own little
give him a button where you can be like, all right,
yeah,
my thoughts, share my thoughts.
There's
Yeah,
nothing at
just
the bottom that
Find
says
something that can plug into my brain, guys.
you don't, there's no button at the bottom of your thing that says present.
I can't read right now because I don't have my
My
sunglasses.
sunglasses.
Glasses.
Jesus
Anthony
Christ.
can
Aloha, brother.
We should
I need to have sunglasses on in my Aloha state of Hawaii.
yes. Anyways, back to Abysmal Dawn. So
So you're
Anyways,
a
back to
kid
that.
and you got that Mexican strat and then
Fuck, that was like 3 hours ago.
okay, no, I'm gonna
fast forward.
quickly
You're on the
I'm gonna
wrong
quickly nerd out. I'm gonna gear you real quick. So what brand guitars are you playing right now?
ESP.
ESP. What's your amp setup? Are you doing the fractal
We just switched to Kempers.
Kempers? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I was a Mesa Boogie guy for the longest time. I used Mark IVs and
Mhm.
rectifiers, and I mean, and then right before the pandemic, we fucking road cased everything and went super legit, and then I don't know, just after that, we're just like, fuck, dude, it's tired of hauling all this shit. Like honestly, like, and then for any fly-in date was a problem.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like we couldn't do shit like that. These one-offs were a fucking problem. Our guitar player had moved to Alabama, so it was like, what are we gonna do? You know, so we got with modern times and started fucking using Kempers, and I don't know. We might even switch to fucking in-ears and shit too, because we're tired of dealing with like monitor guys that can't fucking hear feedback and shit like that, you know. So
what's your experience going from like a modern amp to like a digital? Because you've been modern like Mesa Boogie, like I said, Mark IV, and
well, on the last tour we did with Origin, we still run power amps on stage. There's like these little like Seymour Duncan power stage.
Yeah, I have one of those. I have one of those right
Yeah,
next to me.
it's
So you're
fucking
pushing
great.
air on stage. You want to push air.
If there's a cab on stage, we'll use it just for like you know,
monitors.
Yeah, you know, just you never know. Like, and then we'll send a direct single out to the front of house.
Yeah,
I think at least we started doing that. I think at one point we were miking the cabs, you know, when we first got them, but it sounds better if you just fucking run a direct out. Yeah. But you know, you like having that, especially like if depending on the venue, like if you're playing, you know, where kids are right in front of the fucking stage and there's no sound coming off the stage. It's weird. Fucking weird.
Super weird.
So
that's a good point. Yeah, based on like where you're standing, because they couldn't hear the PAs.
Yeah, and if you have a shitty PA and you know you want to, you never know. Like it's a crapshoot sometimes on tour. You'd be playing.
There's a lot of prog bands you see like fucking like you see like behind the stage and you hear nothing and you just hear drums and you're like, what the? I
feel like
all in their ears or something, and it's going out to the house and there's nothing on stage. You know,
dude. Some people run complex rigs. They got like they're running MIDI and all the changes are off MIDI. And all this shit. Like that's cool. I'm just always right. It's like fucking
what can go wrong?
Fucking thing goes wrong, and the whole no one knows how to play an instrument anymore. So
you're like playing and like all of a sudden you're clean. You're like on a clean chorus sound. And you're like trying to chunk.
Yeah, exactly.
So try and like I don't know, keep it as
sounds crazy.
I don't know, it's somewit
like a self-driving car. You're like,
you're gonna go that way or.
Yeah, I get it. I'm pretty sold on it, but
I mean that tech's been around for a while, though, right? They gotta have it locked in pretty well.
But still, like anything can go wrong with any part of that, and it goes wrong. You know, it's like all of a sudden I mean, it's almost like it's good to have if you're gonna do that, like have your foot pedals there too for like an analog get back to like normal thing, because like
I'm still trying to get used to the Kemper and certain things. Like I was talking to Ian from Aborted because he gave me a bunch of fucking recommendations. He used to play in Abysmal Dawn like back in the day, so we still talk.
Okay.
And you know, he recommended some different foot switches for me because I bought like the Kemper remote or whatever foot switch, and it's a fucking spaceship, and I press one wrong. I'm singing and playing guitar, and like I press one fucking.
Like you held it too long. It's
button,
like tuner.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like switches to fucking 50 different amps, and I'm like, all I want is fucking 2 sounds, pretty much.
Then you realize your feet are too wide for the pedals or some shit
but
like
it's
that.
it's just fucking ridiculous. It's just too much, man. So like,
yeah,
I got like a MIDI control switch that's just like a couple buttons, like all on one row, rather than like fucking 50 spread up on top of each other.
Yeah.
So that helps. But, yeah, and
definitely.
Bass, we started going direct too. I mean, we started going direct with bass for like a while ago. I think that just
the Sans amp
better, man.
Yeah,
not Sans amp. What's the other? Dark Glass.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, it was like the
Sans
first
amp. Everyone, yeah.
But
the Dark Glass stuff has like cab sims on them too, and it sounds great, man. So
I remember like doing Summer Slaughter once, and I had my full amp there, and I was all, I'm just gonna go Sans amp direct in.
Yeah,
It'd crack me up. Like I'd be like a humongous crowd. I'd be like, this is my setup. Like, can I get phantom power? That's it. That's all I need.
It's fucking better, man. Like you're not gonna be setting off Casey's fucking triggers the whole goddamn time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
with your bass, just like rumbling in there. Like
yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just a lot easier.
I just had a funny thought of like a guitarist that had like all their changes like on a MIDI track, and it was like automated, but they were like hitting fake pedals to like look real.
Well, that's probably a thing.
You're like dancing.
People are doing that.
Sure, that's definitely been done.
He didn't really hit that pedal.
I mean, the phantom cabs in the back, that's a common thing.
That's been forever.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like fucking kids and shit.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like Kempers don't look cool.
Hide them.
Yeah, you try to hide them, or like I don't know.
They're cool, but with they still look a grill over them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I thought about doing something like that, or like I don't know. Now it's like, all right, so now if we don't have an amp on stage, then now I want to like get scrims or something. That's another thing to fucking set up in front of it.
Totally.
It just looks weird on stage.
You just put those little crate practice amps.
Like, there you go.
With mic computer mics on it.
Yeah.
Is there a company that's trying to push like the smallest cab with the biggest punch type deal?
I mean, a lot of people are like, I don't know, like lower wattage heads.
That's like
there's like 25 watt versions of like PV and Mesa stuff.
Yep.
So there's stuff like that. I mean, I don't know.
Which kind of makes sense. It's like trying to the distortion is breaking up at a certain volume, and that's what
The dudes from Clitoris, do you know that band?
No, that's an amazing band.
It's fucking amazing band name, and great guys. They were using Hughes and Kettner, like little
those small ones.
Yeah, they sounded great, man. Like, and we're like, fuck, maybe we should get fucking just smaller tube amps. That was an option too, but I don't think I don't know. The Kemper just has like lots of cool options, I guess, but.
My favorite was
my studio too, so
Yeah, do you use them in your studio for like direct in for recording and stuff, or do you?
Yeah, like I'll make my own Kemper profiles, like with amps and different mics that I have here, and that's what I use when I go out on tour, like having like my own sound, So, but I don't have to bring like I don't know a fucking 25-year-old discontinued amp, you know what I mean, like on tour, and.
No customer support, like your parts are out of date. Yeah,
they're not responding to my email.
So I don't know. It's just easier, but I do like using the studio. I like using real amps in the studio, but it's cool to like profile your own stuff and then bring it on tour too.
Right. That's one thing I've always noticed about like people always talk about like I like the tube amp for the air push on stage. It's like people always, like tubes are always going to be best because they can feel it, blah, blah. But also, too, a lot of people are like, well, I like to use them in the studio, though. And there's no like real air push, but you can like nerd out. That's one thing about Kemper and Fractal and stuff. And what's that other Quad Cortex? You can like sit there and you're like, I I want a diesel instead. You can
Yeah.
totally change your sound, and it's like a rabbit hole of just like and because you'll never be satisfied with your tone. It's just like one of those things, like you'll always change. At the time you might be satisfied, but like it's just the guitar player's like qualm is that you'll constantly get like, I could make that a little bit sicker, dude, if I just get on my computer and change it around. Like, you know what I mean? That's the one thing that like
I think
fucks
the
with me about this.
conquest to find the perfect tone and never actually getting it is why things continue to move on.
Yeah, get better.
You know, we're never going to get there, so we're always going to keep searching. And it's
Like,
it's
we're not
gonna
all
just-
Ingve Malmsteen that's like,
Keep
oh,
on
dude, we're using this-
searching, nah. Yeah.
It's like Malmsteen's like, dude, I'm using the JCM 800
Yeah,
from like
same
age
shit, yeah.
13 until like I'm like 90 now. So
I mean,
yeah.
what is kind of cool about the Kemper is like there's other aspects to it. It's like where I can amp or mic and amp capture it, and then I can tweak it like with
Yeah.
different EQ and gates or whatever, and just get it like a different sound to it, or like a more polished like studio ready sound that I can, where even the sound guy can't fuck it up unless he's just like making changes for no reason. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So just I don't know. Sort of that.
So there's a question I've always had that I'm just curious what you think, Charles, is like basically like blending like an amp guitar with like the fake guitar kind of thing, and it's like it seems like people are kind of like that's like not done, like there's like a phasing problem and stuff, and it just
Well, you gotta put them in phase.
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've done that on
Or
records that I've done. I've done like an actual like amped guitar with a couple tones, maybe, or a couple mics, maybe, and then blended it with some like plug-in, you know.
okay. So
It's kind of like it's what Casey's probably getting at is Casey's probably like relating it to triggers and then having like the mics.
The
bass
no, I'm
drum
talking
too.
about guitars. But
I don't know, but so I'm saying that's like the train of thought though, is like
Yeah.
having the fake sound with the real sound.
Yeah,
and like
you gotta-
mixing
I see
them.
what you mean.
Yeah.
If you use a real mic and then you use triggers
Yeah.
together, you gotta
Yeah,
make sure
have
they're
a
the
snap
same.
of the
It's like
trigger.
acoustic drums and triggers are like blended all the time.
Yeah.
bottom line. So like live or recording depends, you know, but like basically like I just kind of always thought with guitars, why can't you blend like the fake with the like a mic'd guitar? And like I just have heard a lot of people say that it's not a good idea, like, and it's not kind of usually done. It's usually like one or the other, and I don't know why.
Fuck them.
Okay, nice. Finally, someone
you do whatever the fuck you want, man. Like if it sounds good, you
Yeah.
know? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in that camp too.
yeah. I mean, I've done both.
About it.
I've
Nice.
done different amp tones together. I've done, you know, like a real amp tone with a fake tone. You know, I don't know.
Sweet.
My favorite
plug-in.
is the amp nerds. It's kind of like I've seen that done with alcohol as well as like the vodka nerds, and they blindfold them and they're like, okay, one's a Kemper and one is a fucking tube amp. It's up to you to tell me which one is. And they were like wrong like 80% of the time. And they were like, oh, that's tube for sure. And it's like, nope, that's a Kemper. And they're like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like they were like complete. It's like I saw the one with alcohol. The guy was like, it was like a Mythbusters where they got like shitty vodka and they ran it through like a one of those we purify water with it, the jugs. What do you call those things?
Like a Brita filter or
A
something.
Brita.
Like
They did a Brita like 7 or 8 times,
that?
and then they poured it out and they just had him take a shot of like the $200 stuff and the $15 stuff, but ran through a Brita like 5 times. And they're like, "Oh, this is the $200 stuff." And it's like, "No, that's the cheap stuff."
Huh.
It's like
Now I'm just
no.
gonna buy cheap vodka all the time and run through a Brita.
Brita. Now you guys all know the secret. Yeah.
I
That's
think
how you do it.
You ruin Britas pretty quickly.
But
though. You have to,
also,
like-
videos on the internet can be deceiving, so you got to check it out for
That's true.
yourself, dude.
dude, I'm not battle forged enough.
So now you gotta drink a bunch of vodka by yourself.
Oof. I gotta test it out. Dude, I'm just
Yeah,
testing.
'cause
Dude. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just testing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, god damn it, Charles. I'm super stoked you
God
came on
damn it.
finally, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. That's fucking cool. man.
You, like I said, like your face, like brings me like into the comfortable back when I was just starting out playing shows and stuff. Like,
That's fine.
like it's totally a trip. Like Every time I've seen you a few other times, and like I'm just like, oh hey dude, come over here.
I'm
Please come over
glad
here.
that's something that I remember. I think Josh from Cattle to Cap told me the same fucking thing at some point. It's like, I just feel good around here. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
we don't
seriously.
even know each other like that well, but like,
Totally.
it's just funny.
It's like
But
experience wise though. It's
We've
like
seen each other like a lot over the years, and
yeah.
but yeah.
So you guys are writing new shit right now, and
Yeah.
you're producing and engineering a bunch of stuff. So, is there any kind of like timetable for you guys being done releasing anything?
Not sure. Like we want to have like a new single or something out for a tour we're doing in the fall, and then a new album probably not until late 20.
Who are you touring with in the fall?
Oh yeah, remind me again. Right? Yeah. No, fuck off. Everyone will find out soon enough, so it's cool. And if it gets canceled for some stupid reason, then I won't look like an asshole. So, so I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's probably hopefully a new album in 2024. So
hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Sick, dude.
We're trying. It's just like it always takes a long time, man. And usually where I get hung up is on lyrics because I
yeah.
Say. But I don't know. Yeah, I might take a different approach on lyrics because I feel like I don't know. For a long time, I like focused on. I don't know about you guys, but like I focused on like a lot of negative shit, and I get a dark place, and then like as I get older, it's like I don't want to fucking do that anymore.
Right.
Like it gets fucks with you, and and
you have to like sing about it every time. You're like, oh, that's the dark place I was in.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it was like going through a really fucked up time, and I have a song about it. And it's like do I really want to sing about that shit every fucking time?
Right.
Or like it's like I've explored certain topics. It's like, do I need to like? I don't want to explore them over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it's like at some point you're kind of like, how many times can I say how fucked society is? like it's like fuck. Yep. Like I know. It's just I'm
a writer too, dude, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like doing Yelp reviews, be like, I went to this restaurant, it fucking sucks.
It's all fucking Yelp reviews. That's why I do the old school obituary method and just growl on the microphone.
But then all of a sudden you'll get an idea during all of that you actually back, which recently I have gotten, and I haven't told Casey yet, but I kind of have this new idea that I wanted to add to the newest Odious stuff that we're putting together right now, dude. And I think there was one part of it that didn't really have too much detail that I thought that needed detail, and it just popped in my head, dude. And I think it'd be a cool thing. So I'm gonna talk to Casey about it, and yeah, dude. Like, but writing.
You want to share that idea with me?
Yeah, sure.
No, out of context. Out of context.
Who are you touring with? And then the idea at the same time.
Out of context would make absolutely no sense, dude. It would make no sense.
Girl, sleep token.
No, but I understand. Writer's block is a frustrating thing. Wanting to explore new ideas, but also there's times where you're writing, dude. Many a times this happened to me where you're writing and you're like, wait, no, dude, I've already talked about this. I've already did this in the album from fucking 14 years ago. Like I already said that, like why am I trying to say it again? Of course, like we're gonna hold on to certain beliefs and ideas. Maybe not, but I'm just saying there's certain things that could stick with you still throughout those times that you might still want to have a statement on, but then again, you don't want to just repeat yourself. So that's
why early metal was great, because it was like Satan.
Yeah, so there's a part of me that wishes I didn't fucking care that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could just have fun with it and be silly. I mean, sometimes I don't know. I look at fucking like Bloodbath lyrics or something. I'm like, that's just fucking nonsense, and they're just having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We all started doing mushrooms and psychedelics and shit, and started wanting to talk about other things besides Satan, dude.
Yeah.
Satan's, he's still.
I mean, Satan's still cool, dude. I still back Satan.
I don't actually know what it's kind of. I don't know if it's cool anymore, dude. I think it's kind of cheesy.
No, dude,
if you're gonna
that makes me want to back it again even harder. I'm gonna go rebuy fucking the Satanic Bible
it's not
again, dude,
shocking
on Amazon.
to me.
How much?
it's not
on
shocking at
Amazon
all. It's
right
not
now,
shocking
dude?
at all. Yeah, yeah.
It's not shocking, and like also like I don't want to fucking uphold these archaic fucking deities that are fucking fake to me.
Yeah.
Like either side of it, you know what I mean? Like it's just all silly to me.
Now it's popular to like not be Christian, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's what we were all about. Like now it's not cool anymore. Like, you know, it's like now it's not cool. Like that's what we were. It wasn't cool. It was extra not cool when we were doing it. Like or like thinking of listening to these songs and stuff. Now it's like everyone's just like, I'm atheist. I'm like, well now I have to talk about.
Now it's a fucking organized religion. Fuck off.
No, yeah, that was my whole thing, dude. That kind of got me out of it. I was like, wait, we're now just like talking about the villain in the story of the guy that I was already trying to get away from, and now I'm back in the story, just
bringing it in.
I'm down with the villain in the story now.
Sometimes you can read deicide lyrics from like I don't know, like more of a Mel Gibson perspective. You know what I mean? Like we're just like
that's so good.
Like, what is it? Like where it's kind of like, you know, like he's just telling a story about like, and it sounds brutal, but it could be Christian, and you know, unless it's like something like literally like Kill the Christian or something like that.
Dude, Kill the Christian is my favorite song to play at like country bars, like when they have those like the touch tunes, and you can just do it from a distance. When like it's all Garth Brooks and stuff, and just put Kill the Christian on, and it goes on the thing. It just says Kill the Christian. And it's just, I'm like, I'll just walk out of there.
And you totally don't stand out with your deicide shirt where you're just like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah, like
they black socks to my knees,
actually
black shorts.
I mean, depending on what you're wearing at the time. I mean, you got short hair, so you could probably maybe pass.
I get away with it clean.
Yeah.
Clean. No, dude.
You're like, who the fuck was that? Not
or
that
a Santa Cruz shirt. Be like, whatever, dude. I'm just trying to surf. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Wait, what country bars are you hanging out in? Fucking.
Oh no, this is like back. I mean, I used to do this all the time. Actually, my favorite what I used to do is like when that Touch Tunes thing came out. The one thing I did was there was all these Hell's Angels at this bar. This is fucked up, but I'm glad I survived. But there was no music. There was no music playing, and this gnarly dude walks up to the jukebox, and it was like 2014 or 13. Like this is brand new technology that you can control the jukebox through the internet, like that they're at.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there just going like all tough, and I put on NSYNC Bye Bye Bye. And he's all, what the fuck? He started looking around. And he started going up to everyone in the pool hall, going like, "That wasn't me that put that on, dude. I swear to God, I put on Pantera, dude. I put on
Pantera." You did it with you to make it look like it was that guy.
I was waiting for him to start touching shit, and I was still like, "NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye, dude." Here we go.
That's awesome.
So he put $1 in. All you got to do is put like $2 in, and you can swipe his spot.
I swiped him immediately, and was just all like, he was just still typing the song name, and I was just all like, NSYNC, dude. This is what you're picking right now.
Dude, so worth $2.
Okay. Oh man, he might have not been Hell's Angels, just in case anyone's watching.
Either way, dude, just watching him walk around apologizing to everybody, dude.
I ended up telling him that night. I was like, I did that, and he bought me a drink. He thought it was hilarious, but.
Oh really?
Yeah. I had because I was drunk and I was like, thought it was funny, and like I was like I was with someone. I was like, shit, this might actually be trouble. But I don't think he knew the technology, so I was like, he doesn't know he doesn't know that I swiped him. Like he has no idea. This is 2014. It's not like like everything's all easily accessible to change anything you want right now. So I got away with it clean, but yeah. So it's funny to do, and that's what in Sacramento, I remember going there, and there's like a country that's a huge fucking there's like 50 pool tables, and you see people going up there and just like all country, and then a hip-hop song would come on, people would be like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like pissed off, and then I was like, I'm gonna put on Kill the Christian. I'd put on Kill the Christian from a distance, just be like because it would scroll the name of the song throughout the bar, just like it says deicide Kill the Christian, would just go through. And they would just walk around just like everyone just be all quiet, like no heads would move. They're just all looking around, like all uncomfortable. And I was like, "This is my favorite thing I've ever done. I think this is my crowning."
Would you stay still? Would you not move to the music too, just to blend in like a chameleon?
No, I would do the whole thing. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah. Of course, you gotta play that role. Like,
I don't want to die.
Yeah. That's great, dude.
Act all confused, like, ew, dude, who listens to this? Where's Linkin Park or fucking Garth, dude? Fuck this shit. Yeah,
Where's Garth, dude? Where's
But-
Garth? We need him.
But anyways, Charles, back to the thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You shred on guitar.
I'm all right.
Really
That's cool.
No, you're really good. You're really good.
It's all right.
Take a compliment. You're
No,
really good.
I don't do that. It's bad.
Dude, you're such a shredder, dude. You're so good.
yeah.
You're like one of the better shredders.
We got a question, guys.
Well,
The question.
What drummer has
what
pushed you the
drummer
most?
is pushed?
from
Push
Ian? It's sick drummer. Push you.
James.
He's got a current. Oh,
Our
James.
current drummer, James. Yeah.
That's a good answer. Good answer. If you said
I mean-
an old drummer, James would have been butthurt.
No, he would have been bummed, but that's the fucking truth. He fucking.
Okay.
He's the most creative drummer I feel like that we've had. I mean, we had good drummers, you know, like, but I don't know. He just would take it to new places, and
Nice.
he's got a different perspective. Like, I don't know. Like,
Is he your
not-
first sick drummer?
not according to who's been featured on their site, but yeah.
I don't get it.
But yeah,
That's cool. So he's like more of a. Is he younger or like?
he's younger than I am. Yeah.
So he's like 52 or something.
Yeah. Exactly. You know,
That's cool.
I still have,
So he's
I
like,
still have more hair than him. So there's that.
oh shit! Shots are fired.
Nice.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, he's great, man. Like, I don't know, he just has like a little more of a jazzy feel, and I kind of, I mean, always wanted that, you know, perspective in the band. And you know, Scott was great. He was more, but he's more like traditional death metal drummer. And Ken Badani played with us for like a hot minute, like did a tour.
The aborted guy?
Yeah, from a
Okay,
board.
yeah.
And he's great. I just at the time, like I don't know, like he's just kind of fucking off and doing whatever he wanted. Like,
Was Scott the guy that was in Morbid Angel for a little while?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know Scott. Yeah.
I don't know if he's still in the band or not, but I know he did.
I don't think he is. But I remember he like got off stage after we saw him, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's like stayed at my house like 20 times. I'm like, you're in the fucking Morbid. I had no idea you're in Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
That was cool.
But yeah,
But yeah. So
but yeah, man.
you guys like farts? You guys like farts?
Do
I'm
we,
drunk.
do we like farts?
We should probably end this.
Joel's just
End it with a fart, man. Just fucking rip one right now.
Oh,
Oh, dude, no, I can't.
Mute
dude.
your
I'll-
microphone, dude.
He's in a surge. He's in a surge vortex right now.
Mute it.
yeah, I'm surging pretty hard, dude.
Well,
I can't
wait,
fart right now. No, might be
honest question. How many of you guys are actually wearing pants?
I got
I
shorts
have- I have
on,
basketball
sandals,
shorts
bro.
I just
I got
figure
shorts.
everyone would just, if I did this, I would just never wear pants. Like ever.
Oh no! For work, I wear like a nice. I wore a suit top with like a tie and have
Not just
underwear.
for
on.
podcasting. You just be like,
Oh, yeah.
fucking, just
It's either
you know.
Oh yeah, no, I'll put on
Sure,
like
pants,
fucking
dude,
like
or
basketball shorts.
I stand up to go pee too many times, and I just be like, "All right, dude, I'll be out of here, guys." real quick."
Oh, you have the
I just
cleanest
like-
out though. You have the cleanest out. For me, I have to walk with my whole ass like in the background. If Casey doesn't like zoom in, my
So-
whole like whatever I decide to wear on my bottoms, it's like you're gonna all see it. It's
I
fine.
could like just military roll outside.
Yeah, you can do a sideways roll.
Just
Yeah, we-
cartwheel. You guys wouldn't even know, dude.
slither. Joel can't.
I'm the only one that has the fucking walk of shame, dude. You guys both have side outs. Anyways,
That
so,
was your
yeah.
decision to set your camera up or your computer up in that part of your room, dude.
Well, I'll do it in my closet next time.
All right. Well, I'm doing it in the fucking industrial warehouse right now. So
Pretty metal, brother.
metal brother. All right, let's wrap it up with Battle Forge coffee. Let's do that. Oh, wait.
Wait, do I need to be here for this?
All right, let's do it real quick. We really do.
No, 2 hour plug. Go
One
quick.
at the end.
Right? Our plugs are too. We need to like pre-record the plugs and just play them
We
part of the
kinda
intro.
do need to do that, dude.
Yeah, we start. It goes way too long.
Hindsight is always 2020.
All right, there.
No, we
Buy
don't
a
even
copy
stay in one
from
set.
the homie.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Buy a t-shirt from us, CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. We never say it, but come watch it live on Twitch every Thursday night. Twitch.tv, CaliDeathPodcast.
Org.
I don't fucking know that one. God damn it! All right, go find us on Twitch, dude. It's there. I know if you search us there.
Well, thank you, Charles, for coming.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Charles,
Buy
real
merch
quick,
and stuff.
buy the Abysmal Dawn merch. How are we gonna find it?
abysmaldawn.org.edu.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
No.
Google that shit, dude. Just
All right,
fucking
just
use
go-
the internet like you
use the
guys know
tools.
how to use.
We have there's a direct link on our Instagram and Facebook with like all our links and shit, like a smart URL.
Link tree or whatever.
Yeah. So like if
Yeah.
you go on Instagram.com/Abysmal Dawn, Facebook.com/Abysmal Dawn, you'll
There we
find
go.
all our links there. And yeah, that pretty much covers it.
Someone invented
yeah.
those for this exact reason, because it becomes tedious to be like, here's my list of things. Just go to this one place, dude.
Right.
Linktree.
But
Or-
even
Fuck yeah.
Like that.
even before that, you just
Charles.
go to Google, dude.
Charles, I love you, buddy. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, all
go,
those-
to go see Suffocation, Abysmal Dawn playing in the past. It's
Nah.
coming
Make sure
in
you got
February.
1.21 gigawatts and you got a fucking flux capacitor and a DeLorean,
Exactly.
dude.
All right, fuck yeah,
Throw
guys.
some of those banana peels in the flux capacitor.
Oh shit, dude! Fuck yeah, dude. Charles.
Fuck
that
yeah,
was
that's a good end. I love it.
killer, bro. I love that, and I love all you guys. We'll see you next Thursday. This was badass, and rock on. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
All right.